Coming to you from the PYAA field here in Pennsauken, New Jersey. Hello, everybody. Here from the HSG Network, it is the Northeast Atlantic Football League Championship game between the Baltimore Saints and the Tri-County Owls. I'm Tom Wilkins along with Howard Gaber doing the color here today. As you can see on the bottom of the screen, you'll notice the team captains for both sides. Of course, you're seeing the Saints at the bottom of the screen. They're doing the coin toss right now, and I'm telling you, this is going to be a pretty interesting game given these two teams and the roads that they've gotten there.
Tom, I'm excited. I taped it. We do know that it's taped, but the nice thing is Tom has not seen this game yet. So everything happening to Tom is going to be as if it's live. So I'm excited. We added a lot of graphics to it, so pay attention, focus. If you were at the game, you'll enjoy it because we've enhanced it a little bit, added to it. And again, it's going to be exciting.
I totally agree with you. This is definitely going to be a fun game. The Baltimore Saints, of course, they won their conference. They come in with a 9-1 record. Their only blemish was a loss at the end of the regular season to the Overbrook Ducks, who happen to be a fantastic team themselves. They lost 14-10, but still, they ended up as the number one team in their conference, seeded, and went on to beat the Baltimore Giants by 17 and the Delco Raiders by 12 to get to this grand final. As for the Tri-County Owls, they've been unblemished so far, coming in with a 10-0 record. They, of course, had an unbeaten regular season. They shut out the New Jersey unit in the divisional playoff and then defeated Overbrook 28-20 to get to the game. And here it is on their home field with a chance to win their second championship for the NEAFL in a 4-year stretch.
Yeah, Tom, I'm telling you, they're gonna have their work cut out for them. It's going to be a battle. Both defenses play exceptional ball. They stop the run game, which are strengths for both teams, and make you use the pass game. So we'll see who executes better. The Owls did win the toss and deferred, so they will get the ball in the second half, and they'll be kicking off for the first half.
This should be a very interesting game. Now, keep in mind, Baltimore does have a championship pedigree. They did win as members of the Bills some years back, so there is a lot of championship winning experience amongst both sides of the ball, and I really do believe that this is going to turn out to be a very interesting contest. So, as you said, Baltimore will receive the ball first from the Owls, and from what I understand, they'll be moving left to right, the Tri-County Owls right to left, and we'll switch sides in the second quarter.
Yeah, and we do say that they have some of the Bills players. Some Bills players have stuck around. They've had some other Baltimore players come to them. They've also brought back several Saints players that were originally on the team before the team disbanded. So it's basically a whole mishmash of players from the Baltimore area playing for them, and many of the players are outstanding, as we'll see in the game today.
And, of course, Tri-County, they're very well aware of these Maryland clubs. Of course, in 2016, they ended up defeating the Central Maryland team by a count of 10-3 in Atlantic City, a game where Tri-County, I believe, forced 5 turnovers, which really was an impressive difference into them winning their first championship. And trust me, I was on the field there 3 years ago in Atlantic City, and I'll tell you, that was a party atmosphere, and now the Owls are going to try and duplicate that with their performance here on this field. It's their home field, so under head coach Lester Cream, who's done a tremendous job with this group, it'll be interesting to see what defenses they roll out.
Yeah, and Lester always brings teams with discipline. He brings teams that play by football rules. You also have a ref crew that's from the MLF. John Zaplinski, the commissioner of the league, made sure to go out and get a ref crew that hasn't seen both teams, so there can't be any biases. So both teams will argue that the calls were, against them because the refs don't like them. But, it's you got hopefully you have impartial referees.
Well, hopefully this will be a good game on both sides of the ball. Referee blows the whistle, and the Owls in the black with orange numerals and white helmets. They're about ready to approach the tee, and we are underway from Pennsauken.
Nice kick.
And it's a very nice kick, and it's a
Not
short
too deep,
kick.
though.
Taking it across the 40 and down to about, big hit. Down to the 46-yard line. That was returned by Ricky Williams, but a hard hit on the part of the Owls by Tamar Jackson.
Yeah, let's see that again, Tom, because that was definitely one of the hardest hits we've seen in quite a while on a kickoff. Stopped him right in his tracks, but still, 46-yard line, not bad to start from.
That's a great. I mean, that's a great way. We're going to see the replay right now. Watch the hard hit.
Oh,
I mean, Talk about a freight train coming. There you go with Tamar Jackson. I mean, he just leveled him. So quite a start. 18-yard return to begin the game. And now the Saints are at their own 46, 1st and 10. And let's see what happens as we begin here as Darius Sample is in the shotgun between two backs. He goes back
Extra
to
blockers.
pass. Has extra blockers. Now he's trying to scramble around. Now if his back hoodie's his, he throws the ball, and he had to actually throw it away. That was intended for Danny Wesselhoff, the intended receiver, but good penetration by the Owls defense to start things off.
Yeah, a lot. You don't expect that when you have you have two backs. You have your split backs behind you for extra blocking, and you would expect one of them maybe to leak out for some type of pass. But he went deep, and he also went deep against the Raiders in the first play, and also was successful. So maybe the Owls had a little scouting, maybe a little knowledge of what he likes to do when he comes out.
All right, so it'll be 2nd and 10, ball spotted at the 46-yard line, just underway here in Pennsauken. Baltimore Saints with very good field position to start things off. A delayed handoff, trying to go up the middle, maybe for a yard, is Mark Venable. He's able to get to the 47, and that forces a 3rd and 9. And once again, Tri-County's defense looking pretty stellar.
Yeah, that was number 0, Danny Curtis, always in their linebacker, as well as number 13, Don Shea Speed. We like to use the nicknames if they're there, but also bottling them up in the middle. So, again, good run defense for the Owls.
And good speed to close the hole
Yes.
if you want to build off of that. So 3rd and 9 from the 47-yard line as Sample again lines up in the shotgun. Going back, and he'll throw, and a pass is caught. A little bit of a wheel route into Owl territory and in for a 1st down and a gain of 15 yards. A nice catch on the part of DeAndre House, who forces the chains to move, but Daniel Curtis makes a stop to thwart no further damage.
Yeah, both of them. It looks like a little seam route in the
Why don't we
middle
take
there.
a look at this?
Yep, you can see the offense setting up. He had 4 go out for the pass. 1 went deep. Now just a little seam route. Made a move at the middle here. Got the 1st down. Made sure of it, and then got tackled.
So thanks to a 15-yard pickup, it is 1st and 10. Right now, the Owls' 38-yard line. And once again, the Saints are going to line up in that shotgun set, looking for extra blockers, and they go slot right, but instead it's a handoff up the middle to Venable, and not much there. Maybe a yard, but knocked down by Gerald Hornsby, and you mentioned Speed. He was in on that too.
Yeah, you're going to try to run to set up the pass. We've seen it so many times in football, no matter what level. And if you can't get that run, you're getting 1 to 2 yards of run. You're going to have to change your offense somewhere. But this is a run offense. It's run first. And Sample, of course, uses his legs several times to move the ball and move the chains.
And we'll see how this operates as they're going to go triple on the near side. Still in the shotgun on 2nd and 9. Ball spotted at the 37-yard line. It looks like another run up the middle. This time a little bit better this time to the 34-yard line. Once again, Venable with the run, but this time taken down by Darren Howard. But it forces a 3rd and 6.
Yeah, and these are important. These are important 1st downs. It's your first drive. You don't know whether Coach Townsend scripted these plays and has told them, this is what I want run, no matter what down, no matter what yardage. So he's maybe just acting out the script right now.
And it looks like they're doing a little bit up tempo here on 3rd and 6 from the 34-yard line. Pretty key play here. We're not sure how long the leg of the kicker is, but in a regular field goal situation, you're talking 51 yards. Here on 3rd and 6.
Pressure.
Big pressure, but getting away from it and throwing it as Sample in the pass. Oh, beautiful catch! DeAndre House brings it in the red zone for a gain of 18 yards before being knocked down by Joseph Taylor. 3rd down receiver to move the chains twice to start this game.
18-yard run.
Let's look at this.
Watch again. 4 go out. Again, it looks like it's a man coverage with some coverage over top. And he just moves the zone. He finds an open area. 4 people around him, but he finds that open area in the zone.
And a tremendous leaping catch by DeAndre House. That moves the ball down to the 16-yard line where it is 1st and 10. And we'll see if Baltimore is able to get some points. They're going to need to, especially with a opening drive like this. Once again, Sample into shock, and now delayed handoff. Venable again. This is like the 4th time he's received it for this opening drive. He's able to get about 4 to the, it looks like the 12-yard line before being brought down by Gerald Hornsby.
Yeah, a little help there by number 49. That was Manny Falou, who came in to help him out. Again, changing in and out. It was a hot day out there, Tom. Really warm on that field. So you got to change guys in and out. There was a slight breeze from what I remember. But, again, you've got to keep your stamina going and your liquids.
And it's also imperative, especially for the Owls. Remember, they're dressed in black, and you know that the heat's going to be bouncing off those black uniforms a lot more, almost like Miami Dolphins territory here. Now on second down, talk about a nice play. They tried to change it up and give it to Darley Pratt, but that did not work because Daniel Curtis came in to stop the play for a 1-yard loss.
Yeah, he's knifing through. He's blitzing as a linebacker. He moves up in there, in the A gaps and the B gaps and gets inside. And when you're rushing 4, you can only have someone's got to get open because you only got 5 to block. So somewhere along the line, he's gonna get in there and make the play, whether it's on the quarterback or like that, a running back.
All right, we'll see what the Saints have up their sleeve here. What's going to be 3rd and 7. Ball is at the Owls' 13-yard line. First drive of this game, no score. And we'll see what Sample decides to serve up here in the shotgun. He'll take the snap. He's looking, stands in the pocket, throws left side, and ends up being incomplete. That was in the direction of Danny Wesselhoff, but it looked like he went one way and the ball went the other, and it ended up short anyway.
You can tell because he never turned around. Never turned around for the ball. The ball hit, and then he heard it behind him. So, good thing there wasn't a defender over there that's going to jump that play because he had no idea the ball was coming towards him.
So that will bring on the field goal unit to attempt what looks to be, I think, a 31-yard field goal. And Tim Smith is the kicker for the Baltimore Saints. So let's see what happens here.
Good accuracy. Good, very, very good player. I've seen him kick for a while here for the Saints teams as well as the Bills.
I know because Howard has done a lot of filming for Maryland games for sure. All right, so for 31 yards, the snap, the kick on its way and down the pike, and good it is. So the Baltimore Saints on their opening drive get the first 3 points of the game on a 31-yard field goal by Tim Smith. So even though Baltimore didn't quite get into the end zone, they at least were able to manage some points.
Yeah, and again, it's a great drive. It's a 9-play drive spanning, only 54 yards because they got the ball at the 46. So it wasn't really a lengthy as in yards, but it chewed up some clock, and got them an end result of a field goal. Would have liked the touchdown. You're going to drive 50, 55, 56 yards. You want to get a touchdown out of it. But it stalled at the end. Maybe a bend but not break defense by the Owls, looking at seeing what's going on out there. So now we're going to, get to see the Owls come out on offense and see what they can do against this Saints defense, which basically has been locked down since maybe the 3rd or 4th game of the season with some really good defensive shows out there.
Well, we'll see how that defense plays out here as they're going to get Tim Smith to line up and kick the ball off. Now he's going to go ahead and line it up. So 3 points for the Baltimore Saints as the Owls will get their first attempt here. As I'm sorry about this, but
what do you need? Offense?
I was looking to see what the quarterback was, and
Khalif Williams. Khalif Williams is the quarterback.
Oh,
for the
Khalif Williams, because I was looking.
A couple twos. You got a. Yeah,
I think I just
got a couple
two
double numbers, but they usually play offense defense.
Oh, okay. So that kind of clarifies where I kind of got a little lost there.
That's
but,
okay.
Hey, it happens. What are you gonna do? Anyway, Smith is about to kick off, and I understand that'll be Tamar Jackson that will be back to receive it. There it goes. Oh, a nice kickoff.
Nice and deep.
And there is Jackson to take it. He'll run around the near side, tries to juke a couple of players, and gets to about the 25-yard line. 19-yard return brought down on that play by, looks like C.J. Oneji.
Yeah, Tom, good job on the last name because you're way better than me on those.
Well, I had to be careful with it because if it came out wrong, we'd be getting a couple of phone calls.
Definitely get phone calls. So, but yeah, good as always. Tim Smith, deep kick. And I don't know if the breeze helped him. I don't know which way the breeze was blowing on that day. But again, you kick it deep and you hope your coverage covers it, and it would be the same as if it was a touchback at the 25. So, good starting field position for the Owls. set up the offense. And again, who knows if Lester has a script for his plays? You never know.
Well, one never knows for any coaching staff if you want to do the first 10 or 25 plays like the late Bill Walsh did.
Yep.
He was famous indeed for that. So the Owls are going to line up a little bit differently here. They'll do looks to be an I formation here. Under center, quarterback Khalif Williams. Burgess is back there, and he gets a handoff and ends up losing a yard on the play.
Big play, knifing in there. It looked like 3 guys on the tackle there, Tom.
We can look at the Owls' offense. That'll be coming up hopefully shortly here. By the way, the tackle, I forgot to mention, Jarrett Johnson was able to make the stop. So it forces a 2nd and 11 at the 24-yard line.
So again, you had 3 guys in on that. You had 72 also, which is Dave Montgomery. And I'm sorry, 72 is Dave Montgomery for this game. He wore a different number. I think he changed it later. But again, it's an offense that is directed to move it downfield.
Okay, so Khalif Williams at quarterback here, 2nd and 11 from the 24, and now whistle blows, and I think we have a timeout.
Yeah, I think we're going to get the timeout here. And not only are we going to get timeout, but we're going to get introduced to the Owls offense.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that since we were going to do that earlier and didn't quite get the button flicked up.
Yep. So we'll have it. Just give it a second. It'll come up as Lester Creams goes back there to talk to the offense. Here we go. There's your quarterback. One of the wide receivers, Stanley Bayless.
And there you see Tamar Jackson, who's already had an impact already, especially on defense.
Johnny Ebert, former Eagle, played for a few teams in the league. Ed Dover, who's been there forever.
Definitely a veteran. And another veteran, Sean Myers, at running back.
Yep. And you got your lineman, Dwayne Morris. Quite a good starting 5 out there. Josh Stenger.
Yes, Stenger, and he's definitely a good one there. You got Mel Eason, who guards the line as well.
Yep, Curtis Jones. Going to finish it up.
Yes, and Antoine Moore, who also deals with the line as well.
So back to play. You got 2nd and 11, Tom. Take it away.
I certainly will. It's 2nd and 11 from the 24-yard line. Let's see what Khalif Williams does. Now he does have I don't know if it's his twin brother, but it's Khalil Williams, who wears number 3 for the Owls. I forgot to mention, but here it's Khalif in the shotgun. Takes a snap, a quick throw, and the pass is caught past the midfield stripe to the 40 and all the way down to the 30-yard line. What a heck of a play, 47 yards, and caught by Tamar Jackson. He's been a threat on both sides of the ball, and thankfully Gary Hopkins stopped them for the Saints. Otherwise, that would have been an easy 6.
Good play on the stop.
Let's take a look.
Replay. You're going to see it, Tom. A little pressure. Got a little bit of pressure. Got the ball off. Nice play right in the basket.
And beautiful timing as well by Williams.
Yeah, you make that one juke, though, you could have been gone. Thank goodness for Gary Hopkins down there. It would have been 6.
And that moves the ball to the 29-yard line of the Saints. So 1st and 10 coming up. I'll tell you, I think Lester may have called that timeout to set up that long play.
Can you imagine?
I mean, sometimes out of a timeout, you throw the element of surprise in, and if the timeout works, and it did in Lester's advantage there.
You might have seen something. First play.
Absolutely. All right, they line up in an I formation. Left side ended up jumping, so that's going to back the Owls up 5 unless they were joined out. Definitely a false start.
Yeah, you get a little excited, First couple plays on offense, maybe you didn't hear the cadence, or maybe you didn't hear what the snap count was, and you keep moving the ball, and it's only a 5-yard penalty, and you get back in that huddle, go over it, come out, trying to get the yardage back.
Absolutely. And let's also not forget, too, I mean, we always talk about these penalties for false starts and offsides and illegal formations and what have you. Those 5-yard penalties are normally discipline fouls because, I mean, and especially when you get the final exam for this championship game, you want to make sure you have everything all down. So now on 1st and 15, another flag is down as Williams will fire it. It's a little bit high and incomplete. That was intended for Ed Dover, but
another flag. But I would assume on the incomplete pass, Tom, they're just going to decline. That would be the smart play to take the down. Keep it at 2nd and 15 instead of moving it back to 1st and 20.
Because after what happened on the second play of the drive being a 47-yard pickup, I don't think the Saints want to give the Owls another chance. So it looks like they're going to say the penalty is against the Owls, so they'll refuse it and be 2nd and 15. So they'll line that up there.
Little indecision on the referee, though. Moves the ball and then comes back.
Well, hey, it happens. I mean, we see that a lot, especially for all the games that we've done, whether it be for this league or others.
Yeah.
This does happen quite often, so not a real big deal. The ball's lined up a little bit toward the left hash mark.
Which, gives you the long side of the field. And again, it's a right-handed quarterback, so if he does sprint out to that side, he's going to have the long side to throw from.
So now the Owls break huddle, 2nd and 15. Ball spotted at the 34-yard line following the incompletion. And we'll see how this plays out here. Williams lined up in a shotgun. He's got a back next to him.
Single back. Looks like there's discussion over there.
They may be changing the play a little bit.
Looks like the referee.
Yeah, the officials actually.
Something.
Yeah, the officials actually called timeout themselves.
The down. They didn't know what down it was, and now I remember they thought it was third.
Oh,
and it was actually
okay.
second because with the moving and the switching down all the way down the field and then the timeout, they lost track of downs.
Yeah, you really can't decline a false start penalty, but 2nd and 15. Here's Williams, and he's going to take off himself. Has a hold of the 30
First
to the
down.
20. He's in the red zone waiting inside the 10.
Oh,
and
pushed
finally knocked out of bounds, I believe, at around the 5-yard line.
Great run.
What a run by Williams for 29 yards, and it's going to be 1st and goal. If it weren't for Dwayne Griffin, I'll tell you what, it would have been the first score of the game for Tri-County.
He was getting by. I mean, there was other people there. He was going to get a little bottled up there at the 5. They weren't going to give him the end zone. But again, as shifty as he is, and as small and compact as his running is, he could have got in there. He could have evaded a couple people and slipped by.
And we've seen many quarterbacks like that, especially the gentleman from Albany. Have we seen a number of times?
C.J. Tarver.
That is correct. I mean, he almost like him in that way. I mean, we see so much talent like that where it's not just the quarterback, but just also the running ability. But here we go, 1st and goal, and a handoff along the left side, trying to sweep into the end zone. It's Sean Myers, and he just could not get it. He's about, I would say, maybe 2 yards short. They're going to spot it about the 3. So Myers able to get 2 on the play before being brought down by Deljante Moore and Dwayne Griffin.
Yeah, great play there. Stretching it out, trying to do a little stretch play, get him outside. He's great at the cutback. Really, really moves the ball well on the cutback. And 9 times out of 10, he's cutting that ball back. But this time he just chose to go straight ahead. So, they bottled him up, which is, what your defense is supposed to do, stretch it out and cut the edge.
That is correct. So it is 2nd and goal from the 3. We'll see if they go back to Myers. They tried sweeping left, and that didn't quite work. Let's see what they do here. Will they run or pass? We'll see. It's an I formation. They will give it to Myers again, and he gets in! Welcome to the end zone for the veteran Sean Myers to put Tri-County in front. Both teams score first, but Baltimore gets the field goal, and Tri-County gets a 3-yard score from Sean Myers to take the lead.
Perfect play, right up the middle, a little A-gap, run through it, get a couple blocks in, and he's in the end zone. Looked really good, moving the ball down the field. Couple huge plays, which is you can't expect those huge 40-yard, 30-yard plays, but when you make them, they really shorten the field up a little bit.
Absolutely, and of course, if you recall correctly, the 49-yard catch for Tamar Jackson, and then the big run by Williams, which was 29 yards right there. I mean, basically, you're talking just about all the field there. They're going to try the extra point here. Their kicker is, and now we have flags down, Tyler Coluccio. He's the one that manages to do that. So,
yeah, it's a tough play for him. Somebody jumped. It's going to be on the offense. So I'm sorry, it's going to be on the defense. They actually jumped in.
Yeah, offside. They're going to call it offside.
So,
I'm sorry.
They're going to have to move that up.
All right, so they'll go half the distance, so we'll see if they decide the extra point or if they decide to get greedy and do a 2-point conversion, which has happened. So after the kick, we'll show you the replay, of course, of what we just witnessed. No, not the offside penalty, but here's the snap, and Coluccio's kick is good. So that makes it 7-3 in favor of the Tri-County Owls here in the first quarter here in the 2019 NEAFL Championship game. And like I said, we'll get some replays on Well, we just saw. Here it is right here. The 3-yard score by Sean Myers.
So again, you'll see the offense is blocking. You have a lead blocker. Usually that's Danny Curtis, who clears out for him, just pushes people in the end zone. Not a chance to make the tackle. And then you have Sean just going right in for the 6 points.
Yes, indeed.
And actually flipped the ball at the ref, hit him, and then turned around and said, "My bad. Don't worry
at least
about
he
that."
said that, because otherwise he could have waited one more second and given a 15-yard penalty on the kickoff, which some officials say we don't like that. But, I mean, it's a championship game, and I'm sure these officials have known Sean for some time. I mean, you have to figure whichever league it is, you just don't know what they're doing or how often they come into players like that and their mentalities. So.
And he's one of the nicest guys on the field. So why would you even think about, he's, like I said, he's a class player all the time out there. So I'm sure it was meant, it was meant in jest, and he immediately went up to the referee, apologized for it, and, we move on.
And that's exactly what the Owls will do, is they line up to kick off here.
A little delay because, as you know, they only have one football for kicking. and that football just happened to go over the fence, Tom. So we're all at a standstill here, waiting for the football to come back in from over the fence.
Did anyone at Philly International note that now they're going to be delays? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's hey, here it comes. We should see it any second. Should come into your screen. You see Tamar Jackson down there waiting for the air. It goes. There you go.
I was about ready to go 3 hours later, but that didn't quite happen. So now they're getting in. They'll set things up for the kickoff.
A little quirkiness, and try to bring in a little bit, get Tom, up to speed with what's going on during the game. So.
And sometimes it just slows down by itself.
Yes.
But, hey, that's the nature of the game sometimes. You just, with anything with adult amateur football, as the kickoff is being taken care of now.
Low line drive.
Yeah, Ricky Williams this time. He'll take it along the far side, bounces off a couple of players, and he moves his way to about the 39, maybe the 40-yard line. That's a nice return by Williams, and a couple of tacklers that time. I believe Sharif Samuels was leading the charge there. 16-yard return, so the Saints will start their second possession, 1st and 10 from the 40.
Yeah, and that was also Keith Jones, the other 2, was in there. We list him as 2A, but he actually could be 2J, for his last name, 2J.
Better than 4F.
Yep, don't have that. But, that's, like I said, they're never on the field at the same time. But the easy way to pick them out is, one, the quarterback has the green sleeves. So Keith Jones does not have green sleeves on, therefore it's him. So he's playing special teams. I don't know if you'd have the quarterback on special teams.
That would be a little bit difficult to do. But then again, I mean, if you have only 17 players, then you may have to do almost anything. All right, 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line for the Saints.
Easy handoff. Nice handoff. Good.
Here's a handoff.
Better running.
Yeah, nice running by Venable that time. Gets to about the 44-yard line. Curtis helped out, but the lead guy was Speed, who's already had a couple tackles here in this first quarter.
Yeah, they got better yardage on that play. Well, it's 4 yards. Looks like they got 4 yards in that play, which is better than the 1 and 2 they were getting at the far end zone. Looks like they're speeding it up a little bit. Maybe Elwood had a conversation with the quarterback, said, "Hey guys, we need to move this a little. It's a hot day. Let's get them out of breath."
And I think the key is tempo on that. So 2nd and 6 from the 44. This time Sample under center in an I formation. He goes slot left. Sample, he's going to reverse field and throw everybody off, and he has some room to run to the 40,
downfield.
To the 30. He might go the 20, the 10, and he's on to Route 130. Welcome to the end zone. What a run by Darius Sample, who gave you a sample of some great running there. 56 yards, and the Saints get the lead back.
Yeah, great play. And especially when you have downfield blocking, you get your receivers to block because they know the play's coming. He scrambles out, cuts it, and makes a couple of people miss. And next thing you know, he's in the open and he's pulling away from D-backs, which is good.
And I'll tell you, the Saints, I mean, their running game, even though you didn't really see too much, I mean, that play was very reminiscent of a play, remember, from high school where the quarterback basically had the ball at his own 3. Everyone went one way. The quarterback went the other way, and he ran a 97-yard touchdown.
Hey, the field's open. If you can get people to bite on a play action or a handoff, fake handoff, you're going to get that field open because everybody's going the other way.
All right, Smith around for the extra point. The snap, kick on its way, and just like that, late here in this first quarter, 10-7 in favor of the Saints over the Tri-County Owls. I mean, that is just absolutely tremendous running.
Yeah, and Samples, has done
Let's
it.
look at this. I mean, you got to see this.
So again, you see everybody going right. He's got 3 receivers on the left,
And
just pulling everybody.
good receiver blocking.
Yep.
Whiff
Number
1, whiff 2,
Donnell
and
Nelson.
good night.
Donnell Nelson gave that block number 18 to free him on that one. So, again, great downfield running. He's an exceptional runner. Was an exceptional runner in high school. Researched a little bit, played some college. Very, very, very talented at quarterback.
And he definitely showed that. Tremendous run, 56 yards to give the Saints a 10-7 lead in what has been quite an entertaining first quarter.
Yeah, a lot of offense.
I mean, usually when you see a lot of offense, it's normally one-sided. But here in a championship game, you're looking at on both sides of the fence, and this is really working out well. Now we're going to have to see what the Owls decide to do as to how they're going to counter this.
Well, yeah, it's a punch counter punch. You got to come back. You got to answer. You got to make sure you have an answer because the minute you're off serve, you could be down by 10, you could be down by 7, you could be down by any number.
All right, here is the kickoff. A deep one, and taken, I believe that's Taylor, who will come around to the near side, crossing the 20, and then gets forced out of bounds at about the 23-yard line. So another great kick. It was taken about the 2, so a 21-yard return, and 1st and 10 for the Owls as they start from their 23.
A good return, get you out of the, you got to let it go. Could have taken it to 25, but decided to take it out and, take some punishment on the sideline there. But again, that gives you field position and gives you some confidence.
Okay, so 1st and 10, it'll be from the 23-yard line. As the Owls, of course, they scored in their opening drive. Remember, they had 2 big plays in their opening drive, which led to that 3-yard touchdown run by Sean Myers. But, of course, outside the sandwich bread, you got a field goal of 31 yards. And then, of course, we just saw Sample's 56-yard touchdown run. And that's why the Owls are down 3 here as we're late here in the first quarter. So let's see what they decide to do. 1st and 10. They've got Burgess, I think, as their single setback here as Khalif Williams under center. They triple the near side here on the left, and they will pitch it out to Burgess.
Burgess to get the corner.
Yeah. Oh, and then he gets hit hard, very close to maybe being a 15-yard penalty.
Gamble.
But Gamble, boy, he took a gamble, and he knocked him silly out of bounds. Ends up being a 2-yard gain, and makes it 2nd and 8.
And it's always trouble on that outside line. I saw it last game when they played the Ducks. You get problems when you go on the outside line. So these guys got to realize that, you're going to tackle people out of bounds and late hit them. If the ref doesn't call it, you may get some slack from the players out there.
All right, so it is 2nd and 8 from the 23-yard line. And the whistle blows. It sounds like we've reached quarter time, and yes, we have. So while we take a timeout for a workout at quarter time, 10-7, Saints over the Owls. Second quarter comes your way in a moment.
Hi, I'm Eric Gonzalez, founder of Guru Fit Workout Training. Let's take a time out for a workout. Here is an exercise you can do in the house or outside with a bench or chair. It is a low-impact, minimum resistance way to get the blood flowing. You can do parts of it or all of the movements depending on your age and abilities. Complete 3 sets of 10, taking a break between each set. For those under a physician's care, please check before attempting any exercises.
Hi, we're back here in Pennsauken. I'm Tom Wilkins with Howard Gaber as we begin the second quarter. The Saints ahead of the Owls by a count of 10-7. We leave off here 2nd and 8 with the Owls, the ball moving left to right in their black uniforms and white helmets. Ball spotted at the 25-yard line. And here is a run. Nice break on the outside, crossing the 35 and down to the 36-yard line. Sean Myers again gets knocked down by Deljante Moore, but not before a gain of 11, and that's a first down for the Owls.
You could see a little stride there, a little kick step there, getting it in gear. Again, he doesn't have to cut it back, but that looked like that play was destined to go up the middle, and he turned it outside because he saw it was all blocked up in there.
And still very good vision by Myers. He sees one hole clogged up, like, okay, let's go outside, and he uses his speed to his advantage. Official timeout as
this was where the referees took control of the game, and I said this when I was watching it. Obviously he went out of bounds again, another tackle out of bounds, and these referees are telling the head coaches right now, guys, that's enough. If they come out of bounds, let them go out of bounds. Let them come back inbounds.
No
We don't
hard hits out of bounds.
Right. We don't want the shenanigans when they go on your sideline. That was the basic. If they go out of bounds, we'll flag them. Don't worry. But we don't need any more shenanigans of you guys yelling at them, screaming at them, and doing anything to them. Which cleans up the sideline, because now if you go out there, you're going to get the penalty. It makes it easy for them.
I totally agree, and as long as the officials have control of this game, it makes it so much easier for the downs to be played. It might be hard and tough sometimes, but as long as it's not out of control, that's the most important thing. All right, on 1st and 10, they're going to try and sweep right with Myers, but a nice diving tackle on the part of Sean Price. Only a yard on that play.
Sean Price, another great linebacker, has played with this team for a long time, knows these guys, knows the guys on defense, and is always in the right spot at the right time to make that tackle.
So it is 2nd and 9 from the 37-yard line. Early here in the second quarter, the 2019 NEAFL Championship game here from Pennsauken, New Jersey. Long huddle this time, and we'll see what Khalif Williams decides to do here on this 2nd and long play. I mean, right now, really the difference in the game has been the big plays. And for the Owls in their last drive, 2 of them set up the Myers touchdown. Let's see what happens on 2nd and 9. The I formation.
Play fake.
Yeah, play fake and a quick pass. And that is caught. It looks like that is Dover. Oh. And Dover gets sandwiched short of a first down, probably about a yard short to the 45-yard line. I believe tackling there, that would be DeAndre House, but Sean Price also got a lick in. So it sets up a 3rd and short. We'll see what the Owls do here.
Yeah, you got to get yardage, and Edward Dover is one of those, Butchie, it's just me Dover, as he's known online, is always, running these sideline routes and short routes and getting open. He's gotten open forever, and, the defenses have to defend him. And if they choose not to, he's going to burn them.
Okay, so 3rd and 1. Pretty much in the middle of the field, ball spot at the 45-yard line. I would say this is a pretty important play for Baltimore's defense because that might give them some momentum. Here is Myers. Oh, they read it. They read it. Yep. And he may have been lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Sean Myers just ran into a giant wall. I mean,
yeah, several.
Jay Bedgood as well as Thomas Turner. I mean, they both were in on the right side of the line, and they just mauled him.
Yeah, he could not get a chance to bounce that outside or reverse because they closed every gap he could have gone into. And you can see, the Baltimore defense subbing again, bringing in a couple different guys, keeping everybody fresh because they know this Owl offense can explode at any time, whether through the run or through the air.
And it looks like the Owls are thinking about going for it on 4th and a yard. Now, I understand you're down 3, but it's early in the second quarter.
Yeah, and you're on your own 45.
Yeah, I mean, a little risky here,
yeah.
But we'll see what they do. We'll see if this pays off here. And the other thing, will they run or pass? They're going to pass. A play fake to the right and a pass.
Ooh,
it's caught along the sideline.
Inbounds.
You talk about being right there at the right time. Tamar Jackson delivers a gain of 8 and a first down before being knocked down by Deljante Moore. But what a risky play. Thankfully for the Owls, they move the change as it succeeds.
Yeah, and you can just watch the feet when he catches the ball. You'll see it slow down a little bit. Look at the feet, Tom. Right inbounds.
Wow.
I mean, great camera angle. I just got to say that. But I'm just.
The Pennsauken Ballet will be calling him after this game.
My gosh. Way to keep the feet in for that.
And that's such the incredible athleticism that these athletes, especially the receivers, have. I mean, to concentrate where they are and making sure both feet are in bounds to ensure that they're able to make the play good. So what an enormous play here. So 1st and 10. Now they're at the Saints' 47-yard line, it looks like. And a handoff, not much this time. And they actually changed the running back here. That's Charles Clark getting a turn. And he's able to maybe get a yard before once again being knocked down by the duo of Jay Bedgood as well as Thomas Turner.
And a lot of help from number 59, Dave Montgomery, in there. You've got a nice big line, and we'll meet that line a little later on tonight when we do the defensive package out there. But again, they're very, very good at stopping the run, and they've always been good at stopping the run, these guys. So, nothing new to them.
I think after giving up that 29-yard run by Williams earlier, they're like, you know what, we can't do this anymore. So the ball spot at the 46-yard line. It'll be 2nd and, we'll say 9, I formation. They got a receiver on each side. Let's see what Williams does under center. He's going back. He's under a rush and in trouble, and down he goes back on his own side of the field. A sack on the part of David Gore for a loss of 5. We're going to have to see that one again.
Yeah, it looks like he might have got a little tripped up. Maybe he got stepped on somebody's foot. We'll see as he goes back. He can see the 3 men coming. So he just tries to evade it and maybe avoid the hit. That maybe was it. Just go down and avoid that big hit.
Almost like Romo and Eli Manning, they'll just drop down and just give up on the play. That might have been a little bit of that too. But whatever the case, still a 5-yard loss, and now it'll be 3rd and 14. Owls at their own 49-yard line. Let's see what they do. Let's see what they do here as Williams in the shotgun will take the snap, and he'll take off. Crossing midfield. He'll get to the 40, down to the 38. A gain of 13, but he needed 14, saying, no, you're not getting the first down, Deljante Moore again. So now, here we go again. 4th and a yard. What do you do?
You would expect, them to go for it again because now they're on the other side of the 50. Plus, you got a nice block out there from number 14, Johnny Ebert, who you got him another 2-3 yards. Couldn't get him that 4th yard though once he got past him. So, major decision. Lester Cream again dialing up the playbook here. Let's see what he calls.
Well, 4th and a yard again from the 38-yard line of the Saints. So far, everyone has been successful in scoring on drives. The Saints had a field goal and a touchdown. Sandwiched in the middle was an Owls touchdown. So right now you're looking at a pretty big defensive play here, and we're only in the 2nd quarter. So 4th and a yard, single setback. Williams under center, 3 wide slot left. He'll take the snap. He's going to roll, wait, and he'll fire the pass, deep. And it is deflected and incomplete. That was in the direction of Edward Dover, but a deflection on the part of Kevin Brown saves it, and the Owls turn the ball over on downs thanks to very good secondary defense by the Saints.
Yeah, they got it. You can see, he's lined up 4 deep, 4 wide going out. He's got the close receivers. The defender was in between the deep and the close, but he had help over top. So he decided to go for the deep ball because that was, going to get you the yardage. And it was well defended, bracketed nicely by the Saints defense.
Yeah, definitely a good job by the Saints there because, considering after what happened on the first drive, that kind of made up for it. Gave up 2 big plays, which led to the Owls' touchdown. But here, the Saints defense did a very good job. Now they have the ball back at their own 38-yard line, 1st and 10. We'll see what Sample decides to do as he's under center. Split backs behind him. And he'll give it to one, and that is Pratt. Pratt bounces off a tackle, crosses the 45, and down to the 47-yard line. So a nice 9-yard pickup. Darrell Gleaves was able to make the stop, and again, speed was in on it.
Yeah, they try to bounce it outside a little bit and get that one block on the edge, maybe tight end in there, maybe an extra offensive lineman to give him that 5 or 6 yards, and then it's up to him to grab the next 4, with his speed out there.
So 2nd and a yard now from the 47-yard line. Saints already up 3 and looking for more. And again, going under center is the quarterback Darius Sample. They're going to do the same formation as before, but this time it is Venable who carries and gets into Owls territory, maybe to the 46, but I think they're going to say the 47. Whatever the case, it moves the chains. It's a first down. Pickup of 6 for Venable being brought down by Chris Pollard.
Yeah, it's just, a straight run. Give it to him, get the yardage. Maybe they were looking to break a little more outside, but you're going to pick up first downs. This is an offense that moves the ball down the field. They're not an explosive offense, although Darius Sample can be explosive on his own.
As we saw in the last series, a 56-yard touchdown run, which gave the Saints the lead on that last drive.
But they're grinding. They grinded against the Raiders and just ground out the 3rd and 4th quarter all on the ground. So, they're used to doing that.
Same formation as before, 1st and 10 from the 47 of the Owls. Here's Sample. He'll throw a left screen, and that is caught. That's Pratt. He'll get across the 40. Had a lot of room, and then gets thrown down to the 36-yard line by Ant Townsend. I would have to think that speed was in on that too, but not before a gain of 11. That's going to move the chains again.
Yeah, again, you'll
Let's
see,
look at this.
he's got 3 going out and he throws it to the back because no one's covering him. They all went deep. So you pull your linebackers back, and that gives you
hit.
Yeah, and just a vicious hit.
Wow.
At the end. A vicious hit at the end. He pops right back up, though.
Yep.
That's what you want out of your players.
That is how a mean pinball gets hit. Anyway, after a gain of 11, 1st and 10, as the Saints continue to drive here at the 36-yard line. Sample
Inside
gives
handle.
the Venable inside. Not going to be too much that time. He'll get to the 33 before being tackled by Gerald Hornsby. And also in on that, I believe, was Darren Howard.
Yeah, straight run up the middle. Again, keeps your linebackers in. You want to either keep the linebackers in on the run and have them back off during the pass, because when they go back on the pass, it gives you the flats that are open and gives you any type of inside route that'll get you a couple yards here and there, and then you have your receivers turn it into a big play.
So it'll be 2nd and 7. The ball spot at the Owls' 33-yard line. Already, Baltimore has scored on both of their possessions here in the first half. They started the game with a 31-yard field goal by Tim Smith and now a 56-yard touchdown run by Darius Sample. He's under center in an I formation this time on 2nd and 7. Let's see what he does. He's going to roll to the right.
Action.
He's being chased. And he's going to take it himself, crossing the 20 and down to about the 16-yard line. He took it all himself.
Yeah, he just, he makes that first-person miss. When he makes the first-person miss, if he can pick up any kind of blocking downfield, which he's getting, you'll see right here, it turns this play into a huge play. So he does the ball fake inside, gets outside, makes one-person miss, and next thing you know, you've got Owls running into each other and running over each other and trying to stop them. And until you close in on them, it's a tough play to get them down.
Joseph Taylor and Speed again with the stop there, but not before gain of 17. I'll tell you, Sample racking up the rushing yards now as they're in the red zone. Gain of 17, 1st and 10. Now let's see what happens here. Oh, Venable now. He gets
dragging
inside run. Oh, he's dragging people. Another 4
Danny
yards.
Curtis had the jersey. Oh, my.
A gain of 4 on the play, which makes it 2nd down and 6. Yes, Curtis was in as well on the tackle. But I'll tell you one thing. I mean, you look at the Saints right now. They have the momentum in this game.
They're moving the ball. That's what they do. They move the ball on offense, and they churn up time. Their possessions are 10, 9, 11 play possessions consistently because they're getting, small bits of yardage, and then all of a sudden they'll get that chunk. And then they'll come back and do 3 or 4, and then another chunk. So that's how you just run the clock out for this.
All right, Sample, again, the I formation here on 2nd and 6. They'll go back to Venable, who has a big hole on the left. He crosses the 5 and is just shy of the end zone. He ends up getting, I believe, another 11 yards. But Venable saw some big holes in the Owls' defense and forces a 1st and goal. If it weren't for Chris Pollard, this is a 2-score game.
Yeah, big play keeping it out of the end zone. You never know what's going to happen. You could have given up and given them the touchdown and gotten the ball back, but you never know. They may not score, but to make that tackle and stop him at the 1, also good spot by the referees. They saw that he didn't make it in the end zone and spotted the ball at the 1.
I tell you, right now, the Saints, the way they're moving, they could make it a 2-score game, but let's see what happens. 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. The blown the whistle. The Owls are pointing to the left side of the line for the Saints. Did somebody move?
I think
yes.
It looks like they tried to get him to jump, but they got out of the neutral zone by the time he moved. So
it doesn't take much of a flinch to get a false start, and that could be a key point here in this game because now you go from 1st and goal at the 1 to 1st and goal at the 6, which gives Tri-County a little bit more room to work with.
And also, takes away the dive, which, Darius Sample is probably very good at with the dive, or 23. You could also get Mark Venable with the dive. Now you have to take it out and you have to actually call that play and run something different.
And now more, and I think we may have a timeout here. So
and it looks like they're talking to each other. It looks, the referee's
official
holding the ball.
timeout. I'm sorry.
So it's going to be a timeout because I think the
officials. Yeah, let's look at the Saints' offense while we have a second here. Of course, we mentioned Darius Sample, whom we've called a number of times. Tim Smith, who is also the kicker for the team. You got Ricky Williams, one of the receivers. Mark Venable, who has had a big drive here in this particular one. DeAndre House, who, of course, had a couple big third down conversions. Now the offensive line, you have Onakuski, Arnett the center, Tolbert on the offensive line, and the other two happen to be Davis and Byron McCarthy, who sets up the 5. Well, one of those were guilty of that false start, but then you also have Danny Wesselhorf, who rounds up at wide receiver as well.
So we're just gonna. It's only going to be first and goal from the 6. So they called the timeout prior to the false start of the second play. So, they're going to reset it right there at the 6.
Okay, so that's what happened. So in essence, both teams now with 2 timeouts left here in this first half. I mean, this is very critical for the Saints because, remember, they got down to the 1 in the first false start, backed them up 5, then a timeout. So they're going to still line up in the same formation here. First and goal from the 6.
Big eye.
Yeah, well, let's see if they get a big push out of this one.
Got to have your lineman push him in.
And Sample will give to Venable. Tries to go up the middle, and he doesn't get very much. He only gets a yard to about the 5. And you can thank Charles Clark with the stop. I think also Speed, who has basically supported this Owls defense on a ton of tackles.
Yep,
I mean, he's done a heck of a job here in this first half.
And Joseph Taylor, the free safety, stepped up into the hole with Hornsby and completely closed it off. So making it easier for the other guys to make that tackle. So, once you have help from your safeties and your free safety stepping up in a hole, it makes it a lot easier to clog.
All right, second and goal from the 5-yard line. Let's see what Sample does here in this I formation. Calls the signals, takes the snap. He's under a rush, tries to bounce back, and he can't get anywhere. Down he goes, losing his helmet. The man with the sack, Darren Howard, ends up being a 7-yard loss, and that play could be a momentum changer.
It definitely is going to be a momentum changer because you back them up now. You have that decision now. What do you do? You're at third and goal. And you just see he comes in right up the middle. Nobody's around him. It looks like the offensive linemen are all looking at each other. Which they probably picked up 2 or 3 of them, but you can't get everybody when you're blitzing linebackers. You can't. So sooner or later,
I'm not sure if Sample even saw him coming.
Yeah,
because he ran right into him.
Yeah, he was right in the open arms. So you never know. Again, there's a lot of guys out there.
Break for the 2-minute warning. It looks like.
Yep.
With a count 10-7. Just to recap, in the very beginning, Tim Smith, a 31-yard field goal to open the scoring. Sean Myers, a 3-yard touchdown run for the Owls. And then a tremendous run by Darius Sample, 56 yards for a touchdown. All the conversions have been good. The Owls, of course, last time they failed to convert on a 4th and 1 from the Saints' 38-yard line. But right now, what we're looking at here is a key 3rd and goal from the 12-yard line. And I'm sure that the head coach for Baltimore is going to have to try and get things straightened out. It's Elwood Townsend is his name. Kind of was off my chest here. All right, 3rd and goal. Here's a pass, and that is caught. Ooh. Oh, nobody home. It's no gain on the play. The pass was caught by Danny Wesselhoff along the far side, but there was Daryl Gleaves to say, no, you're not going anywhere, and that's going to force a field goal. Go back to that false start at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, pivotal play, the false start and the sack. You combine the 2 of them, and you're all out of sorts. Something's going on the offense, but let's meet that defense, Tom.
And they've been key here in this drive, of course. Daniel Curtis, the linebacker there, and then Gerald Hornsby, who's gotten his name in as well. Joseph Taylor, who's had a big kick here in this first half. Chris Pollard, he's gotten himself in a little bit. And by the way, a timeout was called. Don Speed, who has basically assisted on a lot of tackles. Bradley Davis on the defensive end. Then we have Karen Bibbs, one of the cornerbacks. Daryl Gleaves, who, of course, we called on that last call on the other quarterback. Anthony Townsend, veteran player, of course, for semi-pro. Darren Howard, who
big sack.
That huge sack on 2nd and goal. And then, of course, we have Alan Davis on the defensive line as well. So a timeout was called, which will force now a 4th down, and I think it was the Owls who called that timeout,
yes,
if I were to guess correctly, because you have a 4th down, and Davis is going to try and come on to kick
Tim
Smith. I beg your pardon.
Yep, that's okay.
30-yard field goal right hash mark this time. This will, if good, it's a 6-point lead for the Saints. Here's the snap. Kick on its way, and he drills it. Kick is good, and Smith 2 for 2 in field goals. A 31-yarder to open the game, and now a 30-yarder with under 2 minutes left in the half, and the Saints extend their lead to 13-7.
Yeah, another good drive, you know.
Oh, we got to mention this here.
Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah.
Give it to us.
On June 29th, a Stop the Violence Football Classic, of course, at that same Pennsauken Athletics Center, of course, located 4339 Burwood Avenue in Pennsauken. $10 for adults, $5 for kids, and a triple header going on.
I'll give you the teams.
Yeah,
Tom.
go
it's
ahead.
The Lancaster. This is MLF, so it's Lancaster Outlaws versus the New Jersey Broncos, which are NEAFL. You got the Garden State Gladiators against the Jersey Sharks, and then the Mountaineers from up in Hudson Valley come down to play the Owls. So, and Tom, would you know it that we're actually going to be broadcasting that game?
That is
all three.
Yes, all three, and right here on the HSG network. If you haven't heard of us yet, please search us up on Facebook and like us and get the word around. And this is and also for a big event, especially for Stop the Violence. I mean, there's been way too much of it. I mean,
Yep.
You have to remember too. I mean, think about what happens, of course, in June being Pride Month, and those people in that walk of life being on the wrong end of it so much. And unfortunately, like, it's going to come up on 2 years' time for what happened in Orlando. I mean, you have to remember, we only have each other, so why do we need to have any violence here? So that's why it's so important to come on out and show your support here in Pennsauken on June the 29th. Continue to check back here on HSG Network for more details on that. Here we go with the kickoff as the Saints send that over.
Taking about the 11-yard line.
Yeah,
Tom.
that's Tamar Jackson this time, crossing the 30 and spilling his way to about the 40. But I think we got flag down on the play, so that might send it back. And you would think if it happens on the return, 99 times out of 100, it's a hold or an illegal block.
This was the one. This was an unsportsmanlike, Tom, because they were battling. It looks like the Owl player grabbed the helmet of the. I'm not even going to say. We don't know if he grabbed the helmet, but they were definitely battling. And the
I
referee
must have seen it late.
Yep, and the referee definitely called it on the Owls. You know, they got to explain. But again, these are MLF referees, so they've never seen these guys. They don't know if they're friends. They don't know if they're playing around with each other. But they saw something that looked like it was unsportsmanlike and called it, which is what you want in a game like this.
And it wasn't and it turned out to be after the play was over, because I mean, I didn't see the flag till late, and you would think normally that would be the case where you'd see an illegal block, but certainly sometimes stranger things happen at the end of the play, and that was the case right here. So unfortunately for the Owls, it backs them up all the way back. It looks like to the 12-yard line. Look like the infraction occurred at the 24. And now they're backing up half the distance.
You know, good on the Owls' part, though. The Saints only have one timeout left, and you're very close to the end of the half.
That's also true. So, do the Owls risk trying to
roll
with
the
two
dice?
timeouts? Well, they have two timeouts. I'm sorry, one timeout left. I beg your pardon.
Las Vegas Wilkins is now sitting next to me.
Yeah, and you know I'm going to roll a 2 or a 12. But
Yes.
Lester Cream is like, you know what? I'm not going to go. He takes a knee, and Lester decides to not do anything with it here. So we are reached halftime now. We're not going to have a halftime, so we're going to get to the third quarter when we return. But the halftime score here from Pennsauken, the Baltimore Saints 13 and the Tri-County Owls 7. Come on back with us in just a couple moments for the third quarter of play.
Hi, I'm Eric Gonzalez, founder of Guru Fit Workout Training. Let's take a time out for a workout. Here is an exercise you can do in the house or outside with a bench or chair. It is a low impact, minimum resistance way to get the blood flowing. You can do parts of it or all of the movements depending on your age and abilities. Complete 3 sets of 10, taking a break between each set. For those under a physician's care, please check before attempting any exercises.
Okay, we're back in Pennsauken. I'm Tom Wilkins with Howard Gaber as it's 13-7 in favor of the Saints over the Tri-County Owls. Before we get started with the third quarter, why don't we go ahead and reach out to the Baltimore defense, whom we haven't quite introduced just yet. And I think they're a good bunch. They've really done a nice job here as things begin. And as you see the graphics up there, we'll go ahead with the names here. Marcus Thompson, who's the linebacker. They have DeJounte Moore, had a very nice first half. He's a cornerback. Sean Price, who's also done well in the first half of their defense. Dwayne Griffin, one of their linebackers. They have Brian Yancey, who's also another member of the linebacking crew. Gary Hopkins, one of their cornerbacks. They have Jay Bedgood. He also assisted on a couple of plays in the first half. James Gamble, who's that strong safety there. Also defensive tackle Thomas Turner. Dave Montgomery, also defensive tackle. And they have Jarrett Johnson, who's the 99 guy on defensive end. So, good job by their defense. And by the way, why don't we go ahead and check first half highlights, which began with a 31-yard field goal by Tim Smith. That opened the scoring for the Baltimore Saints. Following this, a couple huge plays by the Tri-County Owls, and that led to Sean Mayer's 3-yard touchdown run up the middle. That gave the Owls a 7-3 lead following the extra point. Then this was the play of the first half. Quarterback Darius Sample of the Saints rolls around to the right while everyone else goes left. Couple of missed tackles, and it's good night, 56 yards for a score. That made it a 10-7 Baltimore lead at that point. Their defense made a big stop on the Owls on fourth down that eventually led to another 30-yard field goal by Tim Smith, and that's been the scoring here in the first half, 13-7, Baltimore over the Tri-County Owls. And we'll have to see what the Owls decide to do, make adjustments. They will get the ball, though, to start the second half, which is about to start right now. So here's the kickoff.
Tim Smith boots another one.
Yeah, very nice kickoff, and this one is taken by Taylor. Taylor will bounce along the near side and reverse gears and drop down at about the 27-yard line. Was tackled by Dominic Yancey. So Tri-County will be in their own territory, 1st and 10. What adjustments do you think they'll make to begin the second half?
I think they may open up the offense a little bit. We're looking for a little more deep balls. Maybe move it downfield. The same way the Saints are moving it. But try to get in between the 10 and the 15-yard variety more than the 1 to 5s. The Saints chew up a lot of clock. You get a lot of long drives with them. So if you can hold them on that first third down or maybe even that fourth down, you're going to get the ball back and you're going to turn the tide.
And I'll tell you one thing, Baltimore was able to chew up a lot of clock in the second quarter, which of course when their defense stopped the Owls on 4th and 1, they were able to chew up the majority of the second quarter clock, and that's why they didn't allow the Owls any time to get things going to end the first half. But here they are, 1st and 10 from the 26-yard line. Let's see what Williams does. He's into shock, and he does line up 4 receivers here. Looking at a blitz, rolling to the right is Williams, and he'll throw. Pass caught along the sideline. Nice play. Johnny Ebert was able to make the grab for a 6-yard pickup. DeJounte Moore, whom we just saw a couple minutes ago, and as we scrolled their defense, he was able to push him out.
And you saw the different sideline. You saw where the play was made. Yes, Johnny was pushed out of bounds. It was a short pass. Nobody around Moore, nobody taunting, nothing at all. Just let him get back on the field, get to the next play. They don't want to pick up that penalty on the sideline, especially since they were already warned, which means it's going to be a 15-yarder. And again, that's your coaching. That's Lester Cream who just drives discipline into his teams to know to stay away from that stuff.
And usually the discipline, whoever's the more disciplined, usually ends up winning the games, and especially the bigger ones as time goes by. 2nd and 4, they're going to say from the 32-yard line.
Delayed.
Oh, a delayed run by Williams. He's going to go far side, crossing the 35 and stepping out. I believe they're going to say the 37-yard line. That's going to be a first down. Gain of 5 that time. Forcing him out was James Gamble.
Yeah, again, it's a play action inside. Ball fake goes outside. Looks to get a couple more yards. Until they respect the arm, they're going to be pulling the linebackers up, and they're going to be bringing the corners up. So, it's up to Khalif Williams to move the ball downfield and to spread out the defense a little more so they can't pack the box on them.
And indeed for Williams, he had that 29-yard run, the opening drive, so that will help get his legs going. And now we'll have to see if he's able to get himself going if the receivers are not open, or try and get Mayers to get himself going again. Remember, he has the lone touchdown for the Owls. 1st and 10 for the 37-yard line. Again, they're going to widen it, 4 receivers, back to the left of Williams, who's in the shotgun. And it's going to be a handoff up the middle, down to about not too much there, but there's also a flag down, I think I saw. Yep, right in the middle of the field, and that's usually where offensive holding happens.
Yep, early indication. Yep, there's a referee signal. And that's a 10-yard penalty. These are death nails to drives. These holding penalties. I mean, the only thing worse would be an unsportsmanlike or a chop block, but holding is bad on its own and moves you back 10. And you basically got to regroup and figure out what you're going to do to get those 20 yards back.
Yeah, people don't realize how huge those penalties actually are. It's almost like you have to wish for luck, like defensive holding or illegal contact, to just reset the down markers. But that doesn't really happen too often.
No, it doesn't. And your holdings are usually, and you've heard it from offensive and defensive linemen, there's holding every play. If they wanted to call every play, they could call holding every play. But, it's the ones they call that really hurt the offense. So
it's all a matter of time.
They called this, so it's going to move them back 10.
Well, there have been too many penalties in this game. I mean, outside of the
pretty clean.
Pretty clean. I mean, I know the Owls got hit with that unsportsmanlike at the end of the first half, but I mean that was more of like an end of after the play was over foul. But here it's 1st and 20 from the 27-yard line. Here's a pass along the side, and it's tapped and incomplete. And I believe that was Bayless, the intended receiver that time, but it had to have been knocked out, and it was. And DeAndre House comes in. He's playing a nice defensive game here.
Yeah, playing both ways. We've seen him both receiving now and defending. Again, we might not have listed him on the defense because we already listed him on the offense, and we're trying to get as many players in there as possible, get their pictures up there, make them famous. But he plays both ways pretty consistently the whole game, which is a lot, for the Heat and, again, for this type of game.
2nd and 20, the ball at the 27-yard line. We'll see if the Owls change things up. And it looks like they're going to triple the near side. There'll still be 4 receivers. They go heavy, though, on the right. Back to the left, it might be Mayers next to Williams in the shotgun. He'll take the snap. He's looking, waiting. Now he takes off. Has a hole. He'll cross the 30, gets a block. Good block to the 40, and down to 43. And I think he got hit out of bounds. He was hit while he was out of bounds. That's why the flag came out. That's going to be a first down for the Owls on that late hit.
And they were given the room. The referee was given the room to see the play, just like we talked about. They saw it. They're discussing it. It was out of bounds. It's a late hit. There was nobody around him. It was very, very easy to see, and that's going to add 15 yards onto that run.
And a potential momentum changer.
Yes.
I mean, think about that. Even though the Saints didn't score a touchdown, they managed to get 3 points toward the end of the first half. They were able to keep some sort of momentum. They may have lost it right there because you're talking a net 31 yards there, 16 on the run by Williams, and then 15 more for the late hit out of bounds. So that ball is now going to be put at the 42-yard line of the Saints.
And that gets you out of, Tom, a 2nd and 20. They had him 2nd and 20.
That's a good point.
And it gets them out of that. And like you said, you get that reset. You get an unsportsmanlike, you get some type of penalty that resets that holding call.
Well, now it'll be 1st and 10. Now at the same 42-yard line. Let's see what Williams does here. They'll do the same formation, heavy on the right way receivers.
Straight
goes
drop.
Back, and now he's going to try going up the middle again, crossing the 40 down to about the 36-yard line. A gain of 6 on the play.
Yeah, a little post play, little taunting each guy, trying to get his face in the other guy's face to give him a little bit of give him a little rub, tell him, hey, I'm here.
James Gamble was the one that made the stop there because he could have gone a long way if he didn't stop him.
And you don't know if Khalif Williams is actually giving his receivers enough time because he's taken off early there. Sometimes Lester has said you give him a little more time, but again, if he feels that pressure coming, he's got the legs. He's the athlete. He's going to move that ball and not take a loss and not take a sack.
Well, the ball is spotted at the 36 of the Saints. Owls taking their time in the huddle, trying to make sure to get the right play off. 2nd and 4. And it looks like this time they will, I thought they would even the receivers out, but they're probably going I formation here, which they are. Williams under center this time. They hand it off. And, not
wow.
much there. How about that? That was Charles Clark on the carry. Maybe gets a yard, but Dave Montgomery really closed things up and forces a 3rd and 3.
Huge play. Huge play. Dave Shug Montgomery, as he's known online, because, you got to keep up with everybody out there. Huge play out there. Just completely closes up the hole, takes the running back and drives him backwards. Which really, really helps the defense, reset and get some ground back underneath them.
All right, so now 3rd and 3 from the 35-yard line. Now Tri-County, in their last full drive, they were around there when they ended up having a 4th and short go haywire on them. Well, let's see what they decide to do here, as it looks like they will line up at least slot right. They may triple the right based on how they're lined up. Williams in the shotgun. He'll throw a pass. That one is caught. Trying to get out of the way. Oh, my goodness gracious.
Wrong way.
Going the wrong way was Tamar Jackson, and he loses probably like 8 yards on the play. James Gamble was all over him, and boy, that's a huge stop for the defense for the Saints.
Yeah, and Gamble's been all over the field, with the mouth as well as with the plays. If you can back it up, then you can talk, and he's been backing it up all over the field. That's a huge stop on 3rd down. And
let's see this again.
You could see where he's lining up. He's got a little ways to go, but he reads the play. He sees it, steps up, and makes the tackle. There's a couple people that had a chance at Tamar, but he's in the middle and he runs right into his arms, grabs an ankle. An ankle. That's all he's got in his hands, and he gets him down on the ground.
A tremendous play by Gamble, and that keeps the Saints' 6-point lead intact, because I know they're going to be forcing a punt here. Looks like it's going to be Tamar Jackson punting, and then whistles blowing first. Going to be a timeout called by the Owls. Now, I don't think that the Owls are going to attempt to try and go for it on 4th and 11 here.
No, they are on the other side of the field here, so you never know what they come up, because Lester's done some crazy things out there to keep the ball, keep momentum. But when you're there, it's going to be tough.
Let's once again give you the idea. The Stop the Violence Football Classic on June 29th in Pennsauken at the Athletic Field on Burwood Avenue. Definitely, again, a triple header beginning with the Outlaws and Broncos. And now, of course, you got the Gladiators and Sharks. I was going to go do after the first time I held off, and then the Owls have the nightcap.
With the Mountaineers.
Oh, they're going to be 3
County.
fun games, and hey, we all have each other. Come stop the violence, and let's enjoy a triple header of football together. Going to be a really good time. I know Lester Cream is behind this. I'm really looking forward to the triple header. Of course, yours truly and Mr. Howard will be taking care of this stuff.
Yes, I will be there. We will be there with several people. So
physically, mentally might be another story.
But June 29th, school's over. So.
Yep, that's true. Hey, on this same field here at Pennsauken. All right, they've decided to punt. So it'll be Tamar Jackson, though. Oh, he had a line drive punt, and it goes out of bounds. Let's see where they spot it. The official says the 28. That's not much of a punt. 15 yards.
Yeah, 15. Maybe off the side of the foot there.
Probably.
Let it go line drive. Not a lot of punting going on for the Owls. They're usually a very potent offense that moves the ball downfield. So maybe a little out of practice, but hey, you still didn't get it blocked. It still didn't go over his head. You didn't get negative yardage. You got 15 positive yards. So let's reset the defense. Come out. Figure out what we want to do to stop them and get the ball back.
Okay, so it'll now be 1st and 10. The ball spotted at the 28-yard line. This will be the Saints' first possession of the second half, and they're up 6. Let's see how they line up. But remember, the last time they had the ball, they were running it, whether it be Sample, whether it be Venable, whether it be Darley Pratt. They've been doing a good job in the running game here. So here we go from the 28, 1st and 10. And they hand this off. Going the wrong way.
Oh.
That's Pratt, and he goes splat inside the 10-yard line. You have to go forward. You're going the wrong way. Yes, Davis with the stop. You got to see it again to see what the penetration was along the left side.
He made that turn, Tom. That first turn was the wrong turn. He turned into the defense, tried for the straight arm, and the next thing you know, Davis has him lined up, gets him a little high, but stays off the face mask and pulls him down on the ground.
That's almost like a dead ball personal foul equivalent, but this is worse. This is a 15-yard loss, not half the distance.
Yeah, plus the down counts.
Exactly. Davis may have made a momentum changer here. 2nd and 25 now from the 8-yard line. Sample in the shotgun will take it. He waits, he'll fire. That pass is caught. They're going to get some of that yardage back. Maybe not all 15, but a nice catch on the part of Danny Wesselhoff, and it looks like he got 13 before being taken down by Darrell Gleaves.
Yeah, good play there. Really nice, making the play up to the, gets half of it back. You want to keep moving the ball forward, and you want to keep getting some reasonable downs. 3rd and 12 is not that bad of a down, especially with the legs of Sample back there.
So now it will be 3rd and it looks like 12. Again, the ball at the 26-yard line. Again, the shotgun is Sample. He'll take it, and now he takes off again. He hurdles one guy, crosses the 30, 35. And we'll see if they spot it. I think he might be a yard short. He might be a yard or two short.
Looks like he bounced to the 37, so they're going to call him down just about at the 36 there.
I think so. They're going to give him 10, and that's going to make it 4th and 2. And I would think the 3 and out is what the Owls really had in order here.
Yeah, you hope, it doesn't look like there's a punter. I don't see Tim Smith lining up back there for the punt.
This is weird.
So this is, roll. You want to, Tom Wilkins, the Las Vegas Wilkins over there says roll the dice. So this is one of those plays, Tom. They're going to roll the dice.
Well, we'll see if it works. Hopefully they don't come up snake eyes here. 4th and 2 from the 36. Sample waiting for the snap. He'll take it. They hand it off at the middle. I don't think he got it. He looks like he's a yard short.
Yeah.
He looks like a yard short. Let's look at it again.
Easy. It was a perfect handoff. Hand it right off to him. You cannot get away from someone jumping on your back. Oh, that's a little tough to get out of.
Gerald Hornsby able to bring down Mark Venable, and that might be the turning point of this game.
We've had a few, Tom.
Oh, we sure have
had
a few
already.
Yeah, well, sometimes turning points don't necessarily stick.
Yeah.
This one might, because now the Owls are in tremendous field position at the Saints' 37-yard line. I'm sure some of the Baltimore people watching are like, what was that all about?
You got to run offense. That's their offense is running. They were churning up. We saw in the first half 2, 3, 4 yards a carry. You're only asking for a yard. But, when you got a defense that's turned up, forget it. You're not going to get past him. And Gerald Hornsby jumped right on his back and brought him to the ground before he got any momentum at all going forward.
Exactly right. And you go back to that 15-yard loss thanks to that tremendous play by Bradley Davis on the part of Darley Pratt to open that drive. They looked to get it all back, and they fell a yard short. They needed to. They got one, but now the Owls with a chance to take advantage of that 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. They're going to pitch this one out, and it looks like there'll be some room. 35, 32-yard line. Mayers again. He was brought down by Sean Price, but right there, 5-yard pickup, sweep right.
Yeah. Price again in the right spot. Get a little excited there, and got told that, hey, you still gave up 5 yards, but, you don't want to give up that 10 yards or 15-yard chunk play to the running backs. You gotta eliminate these big plays, and that's what the defense is doing right now. Both sides.
That's true. 2nd and 5 now from the 32-yard line. The Owls now with a huge opportunity. This is as deep as they have gotten since the opening drive of this game. Remember, they got stuck in the 30s in the last drive before a 3rd down play kind of backfired on them. Here we go in an I formation here. 2nd and 5. Williams nearly trips. He goes back, and he'll fire, and the pass is caught along the near side to about the 25-yard line. I believe forward progress is going to be stopped there. Ed Dover making the grab, and that's going to be good for a 1st down. Deljante Moore with the stop, but what a job of recognition on the part of Williams there.
Moving the chains. That's what you want to do. Move the chains. Keep it going downfield. You want to become that downfield running team, downfield passing team where they're back on their heels every down. You know, you've got to keep moving the ball. You've got to keep getting positive yardage. You can't have mistakes. You know, mistakes are penalties. They'll cost you yards. They'll cost you turnovers. They'll cost you anything out there.
And could cost you games, too.
And easily can cost you games.
I mean, look what happened 3 years ago when the Tri-County Owls won their game 10-3 over Central Maryland. They forced 5 turnovers.
Yep.
And I don't think Central Maryland even believed that could have happened, but it did. And now we're almost in crunch time here in the third quarter. All right, 1st and 10 from the 25. And it looks like they have the Myers who tried to move left and then try to reverse his field and could not do it. It looked like Gamble was able to take him down for a 2-yard loss.
Oh, you know, he has a nose for that ball. You know, he's moving up from his position, you know, and makes the play, you know, a good play for a loss. You know, you haven't seen too many losses out there on the runs for the Owls. You know, they're usually getting positive yardage. So for him to penetrate through that line and to get in there and give that kind of loss on a simple run sets him back again. You know, so now you've got to overcome that you know, deficit of a 2nd and 12.
Well, they're back at the 27-yard line. So right now, Baltimore's defense putting up to a bigger challenge here. Their offense didn't necessarily do them very many favors, but sometimes you try and put it up and it doesn't work out. So now they have to try and make up for it. All right, 2nd and 12 from the 27-yard line. Looks like the Owls are changing the play a little bit. And it looks like I think they're going to triple the right again. 4 receivers, but heavy on the right. Now they get the snap off. Williams looking. He'll fire. And the pass is caught. That might have been Dover that time again, and it is. It looks like he got 4 to about the 23, so it sets an important 3rd and 8 coming up. Griffin was able to make the stop.
And they've used that play several times. It's just a quick button hook out, you know, get 4 or 5 yards, shorten the sticks up, get back in the offense, and try and get the first down. You know, they've used this plenty of times, you know, to work here. So, you know, it works, and it gives you the yardage that you need. You know, could he run it a little deeper? Maybe, but then you have your safety over the top that's going to be stopping him. So you take the short gain, get out of bounds, reset, and let's get it going.
All right, so it'll be 3rd and 8 from the 23 of the Saints. As we're getting relatively late here in the third quarter. A score by the Owls, and provided there's a good extra point, they will have the lead. Let's see how they line up here. Same thing as before. Heavy on the right with the 4 receivers.
Three.
Well, 4 total receivers.
Yes.
I always say heavy right when you have
Gotcha.
more on there. All right. Here is
checking.
Williams. He's going to fire in the pass. Oh, it's caught.
Oh,
that
what a
pass
catch.
is caught again. Talk about tippy-toeing along the sideline. That's Johnny Ebert, who gets 10 when they needed 8, and now the Owls are in the red zone with a 1st and 10.
You know, to keep your feet in bounds on that play is, you know, pinpoint. You know, he's got to know where the sideline is. That's the deeper button hook.
I'd like to see that again.
You know, it's a deeper button hook. You know, he turns and watch the feet again, inbounds now. Did he have one up? Did he have one down? I couldn't tell you, but you know what? The referee is right. Both referees are looking at it, and both referees spot him in bounds. So that's all you got to see right there.
That is a tremendous, tremendous play. And, I mean, that's where the Owls are getting the momentum now as they're trying to retake the lead here in the 2019 NEAFL Championship game. 1st and 10. It'll be from the 13-yard line. This time I formation. They'll pitch to Mayers.
Deep pitch.
And now he's going to reverse field. Gets a block
good
and a good one.
Good
block. A couple more jukes. Sneaks through a couple more holes. Inside a 10,
the spin
down
button.
to the 5.
Tom, I got the spin button on that one.
I think that's a good thing there wasn't a tilt in the end zone because John Mayers just bounced all over the place and picked up 8 yards on the play.
We do have a flag, Tom. A flag back by the block of the quarterback. I mean, they may be saying it was low. Could be a chop block. That could be what they're talking about.
And it could be possible because as Mayers switched right, it looked like there might have been a chop block, but the officials are trying to just confirm to make sure that it was or was not, because, I mean, that is a dangerous play, but
yes,
it was close.
Yeah, it was close. I mean, it looked like from our viewpoint here that he definitely hit him right around the waist, and it might not have been, you know, it might have been a little low, but it was still above the waist, but he was going down, and that gives you that look that it was a chop block. But
and they're not going to call it.
Yep, which is the right call. That is the right call there. It was not low. It was at the waist, but he was going down, which might have given that look that he was actually going to be a chop block.
That is a major play here, because now you have 2nd and 2 from the 5-yard line. You can obviously get a first down without scoring, and the Owls right now, they're grabbing the momentum away from the Saints. Like I said, there were tipping points in this game which we thought were going to be turning points. It didn't happen, but that 4th down gamble, which didn't pay off right now, it's sticking.
Yeah, and you go from, a 15-yard penalty to getting it, down on the 5, which is, you can't beat that compared to being back 15 yards and being out of field goal range as well.
All right, so it is 2nd and we're going to say 2 from the 5-yard line. The official's still talking a couple of things over, so we're not ready for play just yet.
Yeah, well, it's nice because the referee's going to go to both sides. He's going to explain to the Owls, they understand, and then he went over the sideline for the Saints and explained to their coach, this is why it wasn't a chop block.
Okay,
so it's always good to do that.
So here we go now on 2nd and 2. They'll wind the clock down. I know we're pretty late in the 3rd quarter here. Let's see what Williams decides to do. Again, I formation.
Under center. Inside.
And they're going to go inside. I don't know if that's going to work because that defense, boy, they smelled that out. It was not Mayers that time. It was rather Charles Clark, who ends up losing down to the 7-yard line. You can thank DeAndre House, who's had a beautiful game, especially on defense. That was a critical play there.
And you had linebackers and cornerbacks spreading that ball out, moving it to the outside, where, you couldn't find any opening at all. So what do? You take it out of bounds and you try again on the next down, which, might be 3rd down. So, you get 2 more cracks at it.
That is true. So now 3rd and, remember, it's at the 7-yard line, so they have 3rd and 4. And now the whistle blows.
And that, Tom, I believe is going to be...
That might be 3/4 time. We'll see.
That's it. You got it, Tom. 3/4 time.
I'm probably the only one that says this around here, but you know what? Hey, you got to be a little bit more colorful. But whatever the case, there hasn't been much scoring, but we're due for an entertaining final quarter. After 3 here in Pennsauken, the Baltimore Saints 13, the Tri-County Owls 7. We're coming back with the final quarter of the 2019 NEAFL Championship after this.
Hi, I'm Eric Gonzalez, founder of Guru Fit Workout Training. Let's take a time out for a workout. Here is an exercise you can do in the house or outside with a bench or chair. It is a low-impact, minimum resistance way to get the blood flowing. You can do parts of it or all of the movements depending on your age and abilities. Complete 3 sets of 10, taking a break between each set. For those under a physician's care, please check before attempting any exercises.
Okay, we're back here in Pennsauken. I'm Tom Wilkins with Howard Gaber for the 2019 NEAFL Championship game, which has 1 quarter to go, and we have a very, very dramatic moment here as the Tri-County Owls, they're down 13-7 to the Baltimore Saints, but here they're faced with a 3rd and 4 from the 7-yard line. And this is a big, big play because Baltimore's defense, they have bended but not broken for the most part. Except for that opening drive by the Owls, Baltimore's defense has played quite a good game. Let's see if they're able to hold this up here. 3rd and 4 from the 7. Williams, he's back. He's going to roll right. Looking, backing up. Fires for the end zone. And almost intercepted. Man, that was close. DeAndre House nearly came down with it. I believe that was intended for Stanley Bayless, but for some reason, I wonder why Williams decided to throw the ball away there, because he didn't throw it far enough away.
He looked like he saw Bayless out of the corner of his eye and was going in that direction, and just overthrew him. It happens. You're going backwards. You're on the full other side of the field. That's why, those quarterbacks say never throw across your body because you never know what's going to happen.
And foot position, too.
Yeah, but if he's open, it's going to be a great play. If he's open, he just overthrew him a little bit, and Lester's probably, like, oh, my God, what are we doing out here? So, you regroup. You come back. It looks like there was a penalty on the play as well. That was declined. So they're, again, going to take the down, not back him up.
Wow.
So 4th down, Tom.
And I think that's probably the right call. There might have been probably an illegal formation or something. But here now is 4th and 4 from the 7-yard line. And This is going to be very big. And, I mean, you have to figure the Owls could try either passing or running. I mean, you could see possibly Mayers getting it. You could see Williams taking it. Let's see what Lester Cream does. Or they could pass
the
it.
field.
Yeah,
Spreading
they're
the field
going
out.
heavy on the left side here on 4th and 4. Williams looking. Now he's running. Let's see what he does. Oh, he stopped!
Big play.
He is stopped
that's
for
who
a
we've been
yard
talking
loss.
James Gamble, Tom.
And he won that time. Tri-County turns the ball over on downs for the second time in this game. And what a time for that to happen as the Saints keep their 6-point lead. The only bad thing now is they're starting deep in their own territory at their own 8.
Yeah, you got the whole field in front of you. Like I said many times, you may be starting on the 8 and you maybe have the whole field in front of you, but if you can break that first line of tacklers, usually the second guys are pinching up a little bit because they want to get you packed up even further into your end zone. So if you can make that first line miss, you never know, you could break it. We've seen it.
I'll tell you, DeAndre House has to be breathing a sigh of relief.
Oh, yeah.
If he comes down with the ball, the only bad thing is if he comes down with the ball, they get 12 yards better field position in comparison to what they have now. Because that would have been a touchback.
Yep.
So now the Saints, in 1st and 10, coming up from their own 8, and Darius Sample, who has not seen the ball in a little while, after, of course, the last time they took a gamble on going for it in their own territory on 4th and 2 and only getting a yard. Let's see if they can make up for it a little bit. So here we go, 1st and 10. Referee about to set the ball into play. Now we should be set. Now the whistle blows. From their own 8. It looks like they're spreading the field a little bit. They're going, looks like slot right here. They're going to hand it off. Venable was more vulnerable that time, and I think he may have lost a yard or two. I'll tell you, coming to charge in that time, Darren Howard, he came like a man obsessed that time.
Yeah, pushed him all the way back in the end zone. Good thing he didn't get called for unnecessary roughness for doing that, but, with the whistle blowing. But, again, it's finishing your tackle. You want to make sure he doesn't get out of your hold and get any kind of yardage. So you finish the tackle. You make sure he's on the ground, because if you don't hear that whistle, it's still a live ball.
You have to play until you hear a whistle. That's the most important thing. So now 2nd and 12 after they're going to spot the ball at the 6-yard line. So a 2-yard loss on that run by Venable.
Yeah, again, Tom, just spreading the field out here. He's got a couple guys back there blocking for him in that H formation.
All right, Sample back. He's going to throw one. Oh, he short hopped it incomplete. That was in the direction of Danny Wesselhoff, and I have a feeling that he was probably a little bit too far back from the pass.
Yeah, could have been. He went too deep. You could have been a 10-yard instead of a 15. Plus he's thrown into coverage. Where if he throws it in his chest, he's going to get drilled by somebody. So, better to throw it low, live to see another down.
Wow, very critical down here. 3rd and 12. The Saints are at their own 6-yard line. Remember, last time they went 4 and out.
Yeah.
Which you don't hear very often in your own territory. Let's see what Sample decides to brew up here. They're going to go triple on the far side here. Sample in the shotgun, 3rd and 12. He's looking in his end zone. Rolls back, throws, and it's batted incomplete.
Danny Curtis.
Yeah, that's a great play by Curtis. That ball was intended for Tim Smith, but he just couldn't come up with it. And this time, I would have to think that the Saints will have to punt here.
Yeah, you're not going to go for it on 4th on your own 6, unless you're really rolling the dice, or unless you have,
or unless you have the blood of Barry Switzer in your veins.
You never know. But yep, Smith is back there lining up for the punt.
Okay, so and Smith is not
essential. Tom, not to cut you off, but essential that they get a good snap on this play. You got to get that good snap. It's a shorter snap. He's not as deep as he usually is.
All right, well, that's going to be critical here on this 4th down. We'll see if Smith can get the ball away here.
A couple people coming in a little late, getting in their spots. Oh, another one.
A lot of, I mean, you would think they would have it all set up and substituted by now. And now, what are we going to have, an official timeout?
Looks like it's going to be a timeout.
No, it's going to be
Saints.
a Baltimore timeout. So I'm guessing both teams have 2 timeouts left.
Yeah, got to burn a timeout, and you hate to burn a timeout on the special teams. That's not the place you want to burn it. But this is a pivotal play. You're at the 6-yard line. You don't make this play correctly, you're in trouble.
I totally agree there. They want to make sure they had the right personnel for this one because I know Smith has a good leg. I mean, he kicked 2 field goals successfully in this game, 30 and 31 yards in the first half, and that's been the difference of this game.
Again, making sure everybody's in the right spot, making sure you have 11 on the field. You don't want to have 12. Same for the defense.
That's what That is what I call my Common Core penalty when it comes to football.
Well, the defense want to make sure they have 11 out there, not 12, now that you had the timeout.
All right, here we go. It'll be punting time for Smith. Gets a signal, the snap, there's the rush, and the punt is blocked! I have a feeling Pollard might have gotten a hand on it, and the ball's recovered at the 6-yard line. Gary Hopkins, no, it's not Hopkins, I'm sorry. That was Bradley Davis who was able to fall on the ball. The wrong 20 there, but that block by Pollard may have just changed the course of this game. The Tri-County Owls are going to have first and goal basically at the 6-yard line. If you think about it, Howard, this is the equivalent of going for it on 4th and 12 and throwing incomplete. We got to see this again.
Yeah, incredible. Great play, great height. Got the ball at the top, didn't get off the foot, but got it up in the air, which is just even more athletic, than many of the other blocks you've seen.
That is
recovered.
And Pollard may have just made a defensive play of this game here because now the Owls have a new lease on life. Last time they were there, they couldn't score and ended up turning the ball over on downs. Now they have a chance. First and goal, and it looks like the ball spot around the 6-yard line, I would think.
Yep, and first and goal, so you got a new set, just like you were saying.
Well, of course, now
couple guys switching sides.
Yeah.
You never know. Strength could be on the left.
Well, let's see what they decide to do here.
Heavy line.
Oh, yeah, almost like a goal line offense here. I wonder if they'll give it to Mayers here. They will up the middle to the 5. He dives. I think he got in. They didn't signal.
Yep.
Now he did.
Yep.
Welcome to the end zone for the second time today. Sean Mayers takes advantage of that block punt.
But wait. Tom, they got a penalty on the play.
Is there? I didn't see that.
Illegal motion. So don't know who moved. They're definitely discussing. Let's see if we can see anybody that moved. Nope.
No,
nope.
You know what?
I
think they took the flag away.
Yep.
So they said no foul, and that means the Owls have tied this game up. Baltimore's wondering what the heck just happened here.
Yeah, well, they thought they had the penalty, but again, it was just somebody moved in motion. That was a receiver, so that was what it was.
Okay, so now Coluccio will come on for the extra point as the wind's starting to pick up here.
I can hear it in my ears.
The snap. Kick on its way, and for the first time since the first quarter of this game, the Tri-County Owls have taken the lead. This one now 14-13, and you can thank the block punt by Chris Pollard, which basically shifted the tide of this game.
Yeah, great play. Like I said, very athletic. Let's look again though. See, again, they were thinking it was the outside receiver, but he was to the discussion with his other partners. They came up with the right call. So that's what you want.
Yeah, exactly, and especially when there's too much on the line, especially for a league championship or chip, as some people would call it. I mean, you don't want to make any mistakes in this particular situation.
No, not at all. And you get with your partners and discuss it. And hey, what did you see? And that's what they probably said. I know what you saw. You saw this.
And the same thing said with baseball with the umpires. If something's missed, it's like, what did you see? And then go to replay and see what happens. But remember, it's semi-pro. We don't have replay.
Not yet.
One of these days.
So we'll have a kickoff here, Dom. Colucci again.
All right, kickoff is, it's kicked out of bounds, so that's going to be a 5-yard penalty, and we'll see if the Saints decide to take it at the 40, and I don't know how leagues work, but there are some leagues in where you can kick it again only 5 yards deeper.
Right, or you take it at, you're right, you could take it at the 40. I don't know, it depends if you have a dynamic return guy, which they do. They have back there Ricky Williams, who's dynamic returning the ball. And I would put the ball back in his hands, or you could have, DeAndre House is also back there. So, do you give him another shot at the ball, or do you take the yardage? It looks like they're going to take another shot at the ball here. Back him up 5. But again, his kicks haven't been extremely deep. And you got that. You got a running back. You got guys back there that can return it. So, take another chance.
Well, that's what they're going to do. They're going to say take 2 and kick from the 30-yard line. It'll be interesting to see if this decision pays off for the Saints.
It's again, you're rolling the dice. You know what you have, so you're taking a chance to see if you can get more out of it.
All right, so they'll line everything up. So the penalty, of course, for kickoff out of bounds, and the kickoff now at the 30-yard line.
Important to note, Tom, on the new NFL rule, you've got to have 5 guys on each side. So
Okay.
you can see they're evenly split with the kicker in the middle.
And here is the kickoff, and it's a squibber, and it's going to be toward
that
House, and he
bounce.
finally picks it up. Let's see if he can do something with it, but the special team's closing up,
what a play.
and the Owls able to swallow him down at the 20-yard line. What a tough break for Baltimore, because House had it, but he didn't move forward. He went lateral instead, and meeting up with him was Josh Stenger. And right now you can tell the Owls have all the momentum.
Yeah, and you had that bounce, that one bounce. As soon as it got past him, all blocking's off, everything's off, because you're expecting him to come up and get the ball and continue to move forward.
And a 20-yard difference in starting field position, let's not
roll
forget.
the dice. That's sometimes you win, sometimes you lose here. So, but again, you've got a high-powered offense. You never know with these guys.
All right, so 1st and 10 for the Saints, who are down 1 early in this final quarter. And I think the Owls have done a little bit of a better job taking care of Darius Sample, the quarterback. I mean, he had a dynamic first half, especially with his legs. But here, the Owls have been up to the task here in the second half. He's in the shotgun here. Will take the snap. He's looking. He's going to throw. Oh, he's short opposite. And the pass is incomplete. That one was intended for Donnell Nelson, but it again fell a little short. And I think, again, the pressure has gotten to him.
Yeah, Lester Cream's made adjustments. That's his job as the head coach, is to make the right adjustments. Talk to the players. Talk to your coaches. Hear what they're saying. Make the adjustments. Make it a tougher second half, fourth quarter for the Saints.
And you wonder if the wind is doing a number with the ball in the air,
Could
too.
be, yeah.
So 2nd and 10 for the 20. A low snap. Sample will throw, and a pass ends up being caught. And just getting out of bounds is Danny Wesselhoff. And they're going to spot it, I think, at the 26-yard line. Karen Bibbs able to bring him down. We haven't called him much today, but he made a key stop there. But it's going to force a 3rd and 4 and a very important one.
A lot of keying on Wesselhoff. You can see the ball's going to his side 9 times out of 10 here. He hasn't really spread it around. He's been running to the other side, whereas he's passing to Wesselhoff's side and running to the other side. So maybe that's what Lester saw at halftime, and he started to change his defense and move guys around.
And I think that's very key, because I think we're seeing some of that. And now, the Owls have had the momentum. 3rd and 4 from the 26 in the shotgun now. Sample back, fires at the middle, and that is incomplete. They tried to kind of do a seam route in the middle. It was intended for House, but he couldn't get it. I think the ball might have been deflected, and Joe Taylor might have got a piece of it as he's being helped up.
Yeah, he was upset. He thought he should have had it. Any receiver, any D-back that gets that ball off their hands thinks they should have that interception. But it was a good play. It stopped. It's a little high, a little overthrown, but again, it's a good play by the defense, marking it up and trying to at least, prevent that first down throw.
So once again, Baltimore, who's really struggled on offense here in the second half, you have to remember they went 4 and out, turned the ball over, got away with it, went 3 and out, had a punt blocked, and now they go 3 and out again, and Tim Smith has the hope that nobody blocks him again.
Yeah, and I'm sure they changed the blocking assignments and brought a couple different guys in. Elwood Townsend, head coach of the Saints, is always making adjustments on the fly here.
Well, we'll see if this one works. Smith is standing just outside the 10. He'll take the snap. They're coming again, but he gets it off, and a good punt. And let's see what type of bounce it's. Oh, a good Baltimore bounce inside the 30, and it stops at the 23-yard line. We had a little bit of pushing and shoving there, but that's a 51-yard punt, no return. They flipped the field there.
Yeah, good. Again, you get good execution. You get some kind of rush on him. But, Smith with the experience and, the good leg drives it downfield and gets a great bounce, points the ball down so he gets that kind of bounce and gets the roll.
So now the Owls up 1 here in the final quarter. They'll start their own 23-yard line, and I'll be interested to see what Lester Cream decides to call. You're up 1. Now, do you keep getting aggressive, or do you start trying to chip away at the clock?
Yeah, it's up to him. He usually mixes it up a little bit. He's that type of coach that, he's not going to be set, with getting small chunks. He wants to get a big chunk play here and there just to keep the defense on their heels and then chew up the clock a little bit. But you're in the fourth quarter. You're probably about 5 minutes in right about now.
Of course, time is always kept on the field. we have not
we're just making
mentioned
a guess.
Well, educated is another story, but the officials keep the time. That's why we don't have a clock. So 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line. Be interesting to see what Williams decides to do. A delayed handoff, and that's Mayers, and he will cross the 25.
One ankle away.
Oh, man. He was able to get 4 to the 27-yard line, but I'll tell you what. Once again, it's Jay Bedgood who was able to trip him up just enough to stop the play.
Yeah, by an ankle. He had a little help from Dave Montgomery, but you're right. If he gets out of that ankle tackle, I'm sure there's somebody in front of him that's going to try to stop him. But he is shifty enough that he can make somebody miss and turn a 5-yard gain into a 50-yard gain.
So it'll be 2nd and 6 in the 27. And Sean Mayers has had a nice game. You have to consider, too, both touchdowns were his responsibility. 3 yards in the first quarter and 6 yards in the early part of this final quarter. So he has both scores. And that tells you how important of a player that he is to this Tri-County team. He's been important to so many teams, and obviously Tri-County very happy to have him here. So 2nd and 6, and speaking of Mayers, avalanche that time. He ends up losing some yards. I think that was James Gamble that led the charge. Looks like a 2-yard loss.
You can't block them all, and that's what the offensive line is saying. They're coming back to the quarterback saying, hey, guys, we can't block them all. They're gonna throw a D-back. They're going to throw a linebacker at us. There's no way we can block 6-7 guys with us up here. So, let's figure out what we want to do. Maybe we go play action. Maybe we back them up a little bit, throw some slants, do a button hook or something to pull these linebackers back because they're coming up to the line and they're stopping our run.
And I'm sure Williams is going to have to figure something here on 3rd and 8, ball at the 25. And, yeah, I know Lester's mixing it up. And like I said, the 4 receiver set. And I think for a second I thought they were going empty, but they're not. They're going 4 receivers heavy left here. Williams on 3rd down, takes the snap. He's looking.
Wow.
Let's see what he does. He waits. Now he'll fire a deep off the middle, and it looks like Dover's got it. He's got a step.
Separation.
He's at the 30, the 20, the 10, and Dover, your play is over. Welcome to the end zone. Talk about a turnaround. 75 yards from Khalif Williams to Ed Dover, and Tri-County extends the lead. What a backbreaker for the Baltimore defense.
Ton of grace was, they were even. They were even when the ball was thrown, and next thing you know, he's 5 yards ahead of him and cutting across the middle of the field. He's got the separation there.
More like an outfield play. Got to keep him separated, and that's exactly what happened.
And it was a great pass. Caught him right in stride. So you can't do any better than that. Again, he had a lot of time, Tom. We saw a lot of time back there.
And I tell you, Williams was bouncing like at least 3, 4, maybe 5 times.
So and you get the result you want. Get the touchdown, get the score up there.
And I'm sure they'll kick the extra point. It'll still be a 1-score game, which would make it that would be Baltimore would have to tie with a touchdown at 2. So we'll see how things go as they send the extra point people. Coluccio, who's made both of the extra points, he'd like to try and go 3 for 3, but he has, of course, the wind being a little bit of an issue because it's picked up again.
Yeah, it's you can hear it. You can hear it in the speakers.
All right, here's the snap and a quick snap. Kick on its way, and he drills it. It is good. That makes it 21-13 Tri-County. Talk about what we would call a disturbing turn of events for the Baltimore Saints, but they're not out of this game by a long shot.
No,
There's still plenty of time left.
8 points, 1 score and a conversion. You're right back there, right back tied. But again, the
let's
play
see
is the amount of time that Williams has back there. 1 throw, 1 pass, 2, 3. Finally finds Dover, and they're in stride. Look, the 2 of them are dead heat. And as soon as he turns that corner, my goodness, who knew? Who knew Ed still had this in those legs? Just outruns the D-back.
He ran past everybody. That was a tremendous play by Dover.
Great play.
I mean, you talk about turning on the Jets. I mean, he did more than turn on the Jets there.
And again, he's an athlete. You look at all these guys out there. This is the championship game. This is where the athletes are. You're not going to have the third line center, the third line receiver out there. You're going to have your top guys. The reason why they're in this championship is because they're athletes. So, you've got to compete.
And you have to keep competing, and for Baltimore's sake, they have to continue to compete because now they realize they went from being up 6 to down 8 almost in the blinking of an eye here.
Fourth quarter.
Yeah, 14 unanswered points after basically a scoreless third quarter where it was 13-7 when we started this final quarter, and everything turned on the Pollard block punt.
Yeah, and it's downhill now. And now all the momentum, like you said, is on the outside.
And now for Baltimore, their offense needs to basically stabilize here. And here is...
Oh, boy. Oh, catches it, though.
Ricky Williams is the one that catches it. And they'll run it past to the 30, maybe 31-yard line. I think they might give him the 32-yard line there. Good tackle on the part of Ant Townsend. We have not called his name very much.
No, and help from number 1. Which is Ev Burgess on the kicker. Might not be running the ball that much tonight, but you know what? He's getting on that. He's getting on the special teams and making himself known out there as a tackle.
So now it'll be 1st and 10. The ball will be spotted at the 32-yard line. This is a huge, huge moment for Baltimore. They've had a couple of things where they've lucked out, but now a couple of things that didn't luck out, and now they find themselves down 8. So this is probably the most important drive of this game for the 2019 NEAFL Championship here in Pennsauken. So let's see what happens here. 1st and 10, and they hand this one off. Not going to be too much.
No,
a little bit of a
surprise.
Yeah, they decide on Marcus Thompson with the carry. We haven't called him yet all day, but good tackle on Townsend's end, who I thought was in on the tackle the previous time, but it ended up being Speed, who had an incredible first half, and the second half hasn't been around much, but this time Townsend was in on that one, and that forced a 2nd and 10.
And they change the pace. You got to change the pace running back. He's run the ball several times. I've seen in different games. They wait for the defense a little bit, and they give him the ball.
2nd and 10 for the 32. And ball's out.
Yep.
Sample was able to fall on it, though, but he ends up losing 3 on the play. Darren Howard takes him down, but lucky for Sample, he was able to fall on the football. There really hasn't been a turnover in this game, and we almost saw the first one, and it would have been a dreaded time for that for Baltimore.
Yeah. On your own 29-yard line, not the place you want to turn the ball over, so you got to get on that ball quick. And it's good. The quarterback jumped on it. Most quarterbacks are shying away from contact. He got right in there and got on the ball.
So now 3rd and 13 from the 29-yard line. They go 3 wide slot right here as Sample will take it. Has some time looking. He's going to go deep left side and double coverage, and it's incomplete.
Right off.
Oh, my goodness. Danny Wesselhoff, the intended receiver, I think he was complaining there was some contact, but the officials are saying it's incidental.
Joseph Taylor went up for that ball, and he had just as much right as Wesselhoff. Did he cut him off? Yes. But he has just as much right to that ball, so no penalty on the play. Just a great defensive play to break it up. That's
4 straight drives for Baltimore where they've gone 3, or in one case 4 and out. 1 turned over on downs, 1 turned into a block punt. And I tell you, you got to give credit to the Tri-County defense. Again, Lester Cream making the adjustments, knowing who to put where, and it has worked.
Yep, and also for the offense, it hasn't worked. So they're going to keep going back to the drawing board. They're getting good punts. They've just got to get a stop. You need to get a stop here. You're late. You're getting later and later in the fourth quarter. You're down by 8. You're gonna kick the ball back to them because you can't take that risk on the 29 of turning it over again.
They can't do that. Well, Smith is again. He'll be punting. He'll be standing around the 15-yard line. I wonder if he gets the ball in the wind, if it will carry, but he did one time. Let's see if he does it again. Just gets it off. And another good punt.
Another bounce.
And another bounce for Baltimore as it rolls.
No.
It's going to be picked up by one of the Tri-County players. I don't understand that one. I think Joseph Taylor was the one who picked it up and ends up losing 3 yards.
And it's a good decision by him because, that could keep rolling. And if it keeps rolling, you're back at your 10. Next thing you know, you're back at your 10. So, you pick it up, you take the loss, you take what you can get out of it, but you don't get set up at the 10-yard line.
That's a 48-yard net if you think about it, because that was a 45-yard punt. He lost 3.
Yeah, but like I said, you want to pick that up, Tom. You don't want it to keep rolling, and we've seen it where it'll pick up, momentum and keep rolling and rolling and rolling, and next thing you know, you're at the 6-yard line, and you've got 3 defenders around it. So take your loss, grab the ball, take the tackle, don't give it up on a fumble, and start fresh from outside your 20.
That was really big, as they say. So I'm trying to add that one up. Yeah, 45-yard punt, lost 3 on the return. So they're going to spot the ball. I think they're going to say the 23-yard line. So it might be a little bit deeper than I thought.
Yep, 23. It's going to be tough. Lester's got to dial up the right play, and the defense has got to make some type of stand here.
Well, now knowing it's later, we'll see if Cream decides to start milking the clock away. Remember, this is a championship caliber team. This team won over Central Maryland 10-3 in Atlantic City 3 years ago, so they know what it's like to be on top. And here on their home field, they're going to see if they can try it again. 1st and 10. And it looks like Mayers. Oh, he has a hole. And he's got to break out. Look out. There he goes. 40, 50, 40, 30. He's got 2 people that run. And he's pushed out of bounds at about the 10-yard line. 67 yards for Sean Mayers. And it would have been 77 if it weren't for DeJounte Moore.
Oh, just up the middle, Tom. We said that last play that they had, the last series, if he could have broke it, it would have gone. And watch here on the replay.
Look at the line open up on the left.
Yep. Everybody's coming up, sneaking in. And as soon as you sneak in, he's by you. And that's it. You can't recover when he's that far by you. Tried to rip the ball out. Gamble tried to rip the ball out. Number 1, Moore tried to rip the ball instead of going for the tackle, which you try to do. He's a dynamic runner. And then you catch him at the end, throw him out of bounds.
A tremendous run by the veteran Sean Mayers. 67 yards on that one. I'm not sure if that's going to put him over 100 yards in the game, but that might be the most important run in this game by either side.
Yes, definitely. Definitely answers and moves and gets you out of your own territory and flips the field.
So 1st and goal. I'll be curious if they try and go with the backup back here after that long run, but Mayers is still in this one.
Catches his breath and gets it right back.
Yeah, he gets it right back to work, and he goes down at about the 6-yard line. Tackle that time by James Gamble. He's had a very good second half, but I'll tell you right now, it's been more Tri-County's offense has been driving down the field on Baltimore.
Yeah, and again, you're using your veterans. Sean's a veteran of football, and keeps his body in great shape, to continue to play down after down after down, year after year. We've seen him from way back in the time. We're not going to mention the team, but we followed him for quite some time.
Okay, so 2nd and goal from the 6. Again, they're going to line up heavy. Getting pretty loud here in Pennsauken. Tri-County up 8, looking to make it a 2-score game. They're going to give it to Mayers again, and not going to be much this time as a helmet goes rolling off down to about the 4-yard line.
Yeah, another great run by him. And you had a couple tackles there. Sean Price again is in on it, trying to keep him out of the end zone.
And Gary Hopkins, we forgot him.
Yep, safety stepping up, linebacker stepping up. So, they're getting past the line. They're getting past their linemen, which are usually their strongest tacklers. So either they're matched up well, or they're just, finding the gaps, which happens.
The play that probably will decide this game, or maybe the next 2 plays could decide the game depending on what happens on this next play. 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line. And I'll be curious here. I mean, they have not done any passing, but considering there have been 3 straight runs, do you think Baltimore expects to run here? We'll find out.
Play action.
Yeah, they are. It's Williams going back.
No.
He's reversing, looking,
in the
fires
grasp
for the end zone, and it's caught! Welcome to the end zone! It's Tamar Jackson! You talk about throwing across your body, then coming around the front of the goal line. He just did that. That might be the longest 4-yard pass in the history of South Jersey. Let's watch again.
Tom watches. He is in the grasp. In the grasp, right there. Look, he's got him. Twisting him, and he still gets the ball off.
And
incredible.
Perfectly.
Incredible. That was the pass they were trying last time.
Oh, my goodness.
Same play. And he had 2 receivers over there and 1 defender. So you know something happened.
That is unbelievable how that went.
Incredible athletic play.
Unbelievable. And Tri-County now may sense a championship for the second time in 4 years after that one. I mean, Tamar came down. I mean, that's some beautiful concentration on both sides. And the officials could have set in the grass, but possibly within the throwing motion, they said no.
Ebert's coming on a little late. Oh, boy.
Look,
he just throws the arm up and says, it's good anyways. You really didn't need me, guys, did you?
Yeah, but I think they're going to call a penalty on that play because
you
can't
have
quite do that. So, yeah, and you can't have somebody moving forward. You're trying to do the kick. I mean, this is not arena football here.
That was good. Uh-oh, look out. Oh, we got the coach. Coach got the shower there. A little early, Tom.
Yeah, I don't know about that either because we've seen some weird things happen at the end of football games. So
yeah, but that was good. I liked Ebert going in and just throws the arms up and goes, you guys got it anyways. Doesn't matter. You really didn't need me out there, did you?
Well, they're going to back it up 5 yards because of a false start, and it'll be a 25-yard extra point. Just remember, they use the old extra point rules in this league, unlike other leagues which may go by NFL kicking rules.
And we missed the Lester cream bath, but we did get the defensive coordinator. I believe he's the defensive coordinator, line coach. We got one bath, but both coaches are drenched at this point in the day.
On a warm day like this, I'm sure they could use that.
Yes, definitely.
But then they might be moving like 40% slower because of all the liquid they're carrying around. So anyway, the extra point we'll try again with Coluccio. This is, again, a 25-yard extra point because of the penalty. They snap it. It's a low snap, and it's a low-line drive kick that ends up being no good. So now it's a regular 2-score game. Now, it might be late, but like I said, this thing's not over yet, and Baltimore may have something more to say about this.
And with a dynamic quarterback like Darius Sample, the game is never over. Never. Now, it could be a lot less time. We don't really know how much time is left. When we say the 2-minute warning, we'll know. But again, this is, you've got a dynamic quarterback out there, so you've got to defend.
Well, we're going to see what happens now with Tri-County up by 2 scores. They scored 20 unanswered points here in this final quarter, and that tells you right there, when you're able to do that, you know you have a championship team on your hands when you're able to fight back against a team that has been very good defensively, and now you have complete control over this game. So Colucci, I believe, will kick off. Now they give the signal.
And the wind blows.
Yeah, little Bohemian Rhapsody of weather here. As that one is taken by Thompson. Thompson will cross the 30 and go down to maybe the 38-yard line. So a nice job there. We haven't called Marquise Karstaffen, who was able to make the tackle there, but meanwhile, Baltimore is now having to go complete fast forward, and I believe they have only 2 timeouts left, so they're going to have to get going and very quickly.
Yes, you got to make sure you're aware of the clock, you're aware of downing it. If you got to spike the ball, you spike the ball, but you've got to move it with utmost urgency here. And you know what I know, it's going to be up tempo. Can't be anything less.
Absolutely, you need 2 scores, and you don't have much time to do it. So it'll be 1st and 10. The Saints at their own 38-yard line. Sample has really struggled here in the second half. They've had 4 straight series without getting a first down. They've had turnover on downs. They've had a block punt. Let's see what happens here. As Sample goes back, he's looking. He's trying to duck. Waits. Lobs it right side. And that pass incomplete and came close to being intercepted. That was intended for Donnell Nelson. And I have a feeling that it was deflected. Yeah, Darryl Gleaves actually got
just on the ground. He was just on the ground, Tom. You missed him. He was down on the ground, writhing, thinking that he should have had it. And again, you got your hands on it. You make the play. But again, it's athlete on athlete.
Well, sometimes you think you're Plastic Man. You're not. Yes. There's human reality to some of this here. All right, it is 2nd and 10 from the 38-yard line. Going to be a very important play here as Sample back. He's going to try that play again. This time it works. Pass is complete to Donnell Nelson, and his 18 counterpart, Sherry Samuels, was able to make the tackle. Gleaves was also in on that, but not before a 26-yard pickup. That's going to move it to the out 36-yard line, and they will continue. Yep, up-tempo it is. Going back, the pass is Sample, and here's another pass and a missed tackle. Oh, that pass is caught, and there might have been a hit to the helmet there as the pass was caught by Chaz Muse. We haven't called him today, and he might have been hit by Samuels in with the helmet, and that may also make it half the distance.
Yeah, that could be a huge penalty. Huge penalty out of bounds. It looks like that's what they're calling because they're discussing right now on the spot. Again, it's going to be added on to the end of the play.
Absolutely. It was an 11-yard play. It's a first down anyway. Now, it's definitely an after the play hit to the head. So they're going to make it down to about the 13, maybe the 12-yard line. So here come the Saints. They're not marching in. They're running.
Yeah, and again, the clock stops. When you get a penalty, when you're out of bounds, it's going to stop. So, again, conserving timeouts, using what they have to get the ball downfield.
All right, so it is 1st and 10 now at the 13-yard line. They'll triple the right. Let's see what goes on here. Sample in the shotgun. He's back to pass. Looking, and he might run. Now he's going to reverse gears. Oh, he's going to sneak through inside the 10, and he gets sandwiched down at about the 4-yard line. So a 9-yard pickup again, and now whistles blow yet some more.
Timeout.
And I think a timeout's going to be called by Baltimore.
I don't think we're going to spend here. I think we're going to move right through it. But again,
they do call timeout.
Big hit down there. So we just fast forward through the timeouts because there's just so many at the end of the game. We just fast forwarded through them. So
you try and save a little time here, as they say. All right, so that makes it 2nd and 1 from the 4-yard line. They're going to hand it off to Venable and
stopped.
Or is he stopped?
Yeah, he stopped.
Yeah, I think he stopped probably at about the 2, and I think they're going to call another timeout.
Another timeout that we're definitely going to be fast forwarding through, I believe. So, again,
well, it's going to be 1st and goal no matter how you look at it.
Yep, and it's from the 2, Tom.
I got you. Okay, so available for 2, and that makes it 1st and goal from the 2. Sample again lined up in the shotgun. He'll take it himself, and he is in the end zone. So Baltimore not quite out of it yet. They do get the score to cut it to 8, and an extra point will make it a one-score game.
Right, or the 2. You go for the 2 now because, you may as well. You got money in the bank. Go for the 2 now, and if you need to get the 1 for the win. And if you don't get the 2 now, then that means you're just going to have to go for it later. That's all.
Well, that's very true. I mean, this is going to be a very interesting decision, and it looks like they're keeping the offense on the field. Yep. So, Howard, you might be right that they are going to go for 2. Let's see what happens. Again, Sample lined up in the shotgun. This is a 2-point conversion. He's
Good
looking.
Spin.
Oh, he spins through one, spins through another. He's heading for the end zone. He's got the 2.
There you go.
What a play by Sample.
So essentially, Tom, if they can recover this kickoff and run one play for a touchdown, they could basically win the game with an extra point.
Oh my goodness gracious! Let's look at it again here. Here's the touchdown run by Sample, and he had a pretty good seam there to sneak in.
Big hole.
So he ends up scoring 8 points on this drive. Baltimore, who basically was shut down this entire second half, literally was going fast forward the whole time in trying to get back in the game, and they have. But I don't know how much time is left, or if they even did. I would assume they went past the 2-minute warning.
I believe it's under 10 seconds. I believe it's somewhere under 10 seconds, because I did hear some guys yelling. But again, you don't know because you don't know who they heard and what they heard. But I believe it's under 10. So you've got maybe a kickoff and a play. That's all you got left.
And probably no timeouts.
Yeah, it's going to be even tougher. So you got to make sure you recover the kick. That's just about it.
Yeah, first and foremost. So because if you don't recover the kick, the game is over anyway.
Game's over anyways because if they have to take 1 knee or 2 knees or 3 knees, it's going to be over.
Right, and Tri-County will just run out the clock.
So it's going to be an interesting alignment here. You can see they only have 4 on the one side right now. which we know, we've discussed, prior to watching this game that you must have. I'm pretty sure you got to have 5 on either side. In the NFL,
that's why onside kicks have been more of a rarity to be successful
and
from
now
last year.
They've moved the 7th over to the other
that's
side.
interesting.
So here it is.
Here's the onside kick, and
it's big
and a major pile. And right now they're saying that the Saints may have recovered, and they did.
Yep.
They did recover. Tim Smith,
the kicker.
The kicker recovers his own onside kick. Did he learn from David Akers or something?
Is that a Philly reference?
Well, no, I think this actually happened too. Here it is again, the onside kick. I mean,
big hit.
And there was a big hit, and it did go off one of the outs, I would think, on a deflection, so it wouldn't have mattered.
Yep. Plus it went 10 yards.
Yeah, that's all that counts anyway.
So they had that. But again, you had that formation, Tom, the formation with 3 guys on the left, and the referees let it go. So, you come back, and it's first down.
Well, here we go. Not too much time left for sure. 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line. Sample, and now flag down. What's this all about?
It looks like it was an illegal. Could it be an illegal? They might have too many guys on the field.
Oh, can you believe if that happened? They call it a substitution violation against the Saints.
I believe they had too many guys. They had 12 guys on the field.
Oh, my goodness. A common core penalty at the wrong time.
9, yeah, they had 12 guys on the field, Tom, for the snap.
That's unbelievable.
Now, again, you have to think of NFL rules, but we play modified NFL, and you know that in the NEAFL.
Yeah, and
about runoffs.
Like that.
For illegal, for an illegal sub, is there a runoff? Because if it's under 10 seconds, the game's over.
But there was technically a possession change, so I don't think that happens that way. So I'm thinking here, and you got to remember, in 1981, and I know you don't like hearing this, the Detroit Lions beat the Cowboys in the Silverdome on a last-second field goal, 47 yards, and they got away with having 12 men on the field.
Oh, there you go. So it happens. It happens. We know that.
Yeah, trust me. It cost us home field.
We have the linesman that's down deep coming back to the referee. So what does he have? Because there's another flag now on the field that he dropped.
Oh, I must have missed that.
Now, I don't know if that was the original the referee's call, but it looks like we got something else going on.
Yeah, unless something happened. Let's see.
Oh,
are you kidding me? Unsportsmanlike against Baltimore on top of the substitution foul.
And that's a sideline. Somebody had to have said something to him all the way on that sideline.
Unbelievable. A chance for a championship, even though not much time left.
Yeah,
you might have just thrown it in the trash.
Yeah, unless you had one play from the 46. You're all the way back now, to the 26. That's a 20-yard change, Tom. On
Sorry, Howard. I wonder if Baltimore will come up with the Miami Miracle.
You never know. But again, you kill yourself with some of these penalties, but it's heat of the moment, Tom. They're athletes. They're heat of the moment.
So from the 26, first and who knows how long. Here's Sample looking, trying to get out. He's going to run. Let's see what
man miss.
Let's see, 35. Oh, tackle from behind at the 42 by Gerald Hornsby, and that's it.
That's the game.
The game is over, and for the second time in 4 years, the Tri-County Owls are the champions of the Northeast Atlantic Football League, and they needed a 20-point fourth quarter to do the job. They defeat the Baltimore Saints here in Pennsauken 27-21. You can't say this was not an entertaining game.
No, not by the least. And, both teams left everything out there. Both teams. It was clean, not a lot of penalties. A couple penalties that were a little unsportsmanlike at the end there because people get heated at the end because you want to win. But that's the desire you want. You want them to have that desire to win these games.
I mean, I've seen a lot of these games as finally both teams go to shake hands with due respect. I mean, that was quite a game. It really was. I've seen a number of great games here as we move on to the Owls getting the presentation of the championship trophy. Their second in 4 years, of course. In 2016, they won 10-3 over Central Maryland in Atlantic City. That was also a heck of a game there, too.
Many of the same players, Tom.
That is true. A lot of them stick around and play spring, summer, fall leagues. I mean, that's pretty much this story. I mean, they play for the love of the game, and it's just so great. I mean, I've seen a number of these games. You go back to 2000, I think, what was it, 2010. Probably the greatest game I ever saw when it was Major League Football's run off the BNEFF, who had that triple overtime.
Oh, yeah.
14-8 game for the Middlesex, now Central Jersey Vikings over the New Jersey Longhorns. I mean, there have been some really, really good ones, and these players, they play their hearts out, and you have to give it to them because, I mean, there's nothing more than feeling like you've accomplished. There's Lester Cream right now. I'm sure he's had a couple of baths. The commissioner, John Saplinski,
hands on the trophy.
Yep, presents the trophy, and that is it from Pennsauken. 27-21, the Tri-County Owls over the Baltimore Saints. For Howard Gaber, I'm Tom Wilkins, signing off for now from Pennsauken, a presentation of the Northeast Atlantic Football League and, of course, the HSG Network.